Welcome, listeners of Illusion, to the Dungeon of Confusion. Come with us now as we spin you a tale to quicken the heart and chill the blood. But of course, you are not familiar with me or this place. Let me remedy such by stating my name is Artie McNeil, the co-writer of this tale with my friend and your dungeon master for the evening, Nikolai Popsky. Through the question of what if, we created this place with its melancholic overtones and hapless villagers. And we threw down the challenge to any and all who felt themselves brave or foolish enough to step up and experience what we have created, to truly open up the dungeon to the world and see who bit down on the bait. But now I hear a group of such brave fools at our gates. Time alone now will show the true motives of their hearts, for now it's time to raise their portcullis and open the dungeon.
Welcome to episode 2 of the Penance RPG Halloween special. Though this is the first one you'll probably hear, this is episode 2 because the one with the cast will come out on Halloween itself because they break the story. That's all you need to know. But this week, and hopefully the first one of our guest podcasts, we have Dum Dum Die. So, would everyone please introduce themselves, introduce your podcast as much as you want, and who you are, what you are, stuff like that. So we'll start with Arizima.
Hi guys, my name is Nicole and I play the character Darby in our podcast Dum Dum Die. Basically, it is an all-female D&D group, and I think one of the greatest things about it is just being able to let loose and have fun. In particular, my character plays a transgender, and that's basically it.
Okay, and your character tonight?
My character's name is Arizmia, and I am a human, and I'm a fighter. I come from the Mulan tribe, and basically all I want to do is I just want to fight for good. She's a fierce character. She's all about blood, gaining blood from bad people and people who just do the wrong things in life. And yeah, she wears this really cool velvet red robe, and she uses a scarf to cover her face, and so you can only see her eyes, which is hazel.
Okay, next we have Illyria.
Yep. Hi, my name is Wednesday, and I'm also from the podcast Dum Dum Die. In that podcast, I play the character Xantalarian. In this one, I'm going to be playing Ilaria, who is an elven fighter. She has literally no people skills, but she can play the flute.
Interesting.
And that's me.
Okay, Severin.
Hi, my name is Kirsten. I play Oriel on Dum Dum Die, and I'm also the producer of the podcast. Well, one of the three. And today I am playing a tiefling magician called Severin, who's a navy blue tiefling with an extremely long tail and a long, very snappy suit and some snappy shoes. And he's a guy, and yeah.
Okay. And finally, we have Darren Oaken Pokespike.
Yes, who is being played by me, Tristan. I am the founder and other co-producer of Dum Dum Die. I once upon a time used to edit the podcast, but have since handed over the reins to Wednesday. Tonight, Darren Oaken Pokespike is a plump but stocky dwarf. And I imagine him moving a bit like a snake because he's a dwarven fighter. I'm imagining Bob from Tekken, if anyone has played the fighter game Tekken.
No.
So in a very similar fashion. He's got like a Hawaiian flowery shirt on, and that's pretty much all he has on the top of his torso. Black hair, a little bit of blonde streaks, and his long dwarven beard is plaited.
Okay, so the start of this episode is you have all responded individually, of course, to a tavern wall sort of request saying that a very wealthy merchant called Florian Dawnwhisper is seeking aid to find his son. So you've all gathered around this table, which, you know, you've had your drinks paid for, you're very happy, and as evening draws in, this very obviously wealthy elf comes in and sits down at your table and says, "Thank you, my friends. I'm very appreciative that you come here. I know that most of you are just here for the money, but it's an important thing to me."
Well, money's important to me too.
Good. Well, if money keeps you honest, then that's what I will do. I will happily pay you through it. I know you've all come here because I've lost my son, and it's not so much I've lost him as I don't know where he's gone. He, the heart of the story really is that I am a trader by nature, and there's a small village up north that we'd heard from various people that they had wealth of gold and treasure, so, you know, as a merchant we thought we'd maybe expand in that direction. So I sent a party up north to sort of put some feelers out, and my son was part of this group. He went up with them, and he felt he'd came of age, and he could, you know, represent his father and the family business and be the person who ran it up north. But after time, things just didn't seem to go out well, and his correspondence I got became, the letters didn't seem to be as heartfelt, as it were, as it went on, and it's as if he forgot about his home and where he came from. Now, when I sent a party last, I said, please, you know, find my son, tell him that, you know, his father cares about him and wants to know he's okay, but they tell me that he doesn't exist, they can't find him. So, unfortunately, even if it costs me a fair coin, then I will pay for you all, just please find my son.
Well, yeah, right, I think we can happily help you find your son. Not a problem. Tell us, perhaps you can help us with some preliminary information. When was he last seen then?
Well, I have the letters he sent me here, if they would help, but he was last seen in the village of Eisenport.
Eisenport?
Yes, it's a strange fishing village to the north. It's about 2 days' ride.
Right, well, I suppose we should start there, right, team?
Ilaria sits sort of bolt upright on the chair and shuffles awkwardly. She's not making eye contact with anyone.
Right, team?
I definitely agree with you. I think we should definitely go. But I think we need to get paid first, just a little bit.
That's fine. I said, how much do you want for doing this? I mean, 200 gold, 300 gold each? As I said, I'm very wealthy. I can afford it.
Yes,
You're wealthy, you say.
As long as you bring my son back to, or at least find what happened to him. I feel like a lost father. I don't know what became of him, and the part of me, it's the longing. I don't have closure. If he's happily married and he is indeed shacked up with his new wife, then I guess that's all a father could ask.
Fear not. We will find your son, either find out what happened or return him to you swiftly. Fear not. Let us go. And Severin gets up and starts walking out.
Azario follows.
Okay, well, thank you. Please, as I said, just find out where he is. I will pay for your drinks tonight if that would help as well, but there's a coach that leaves tomorrow morning. You must be on it. It's the only coach that leaves. There's only one every few days.
Right, then we'll catch that one then, I assume. What's its name?
Oh, it's the red coach that leaves in the morning. It's the one that leaves outside the inn over there.
Right, sounds good. Is everyone on board? Are we good to go? Have we settled also 300 gold each?
That is fine. If you can bring me back something for my son to prove that he is either alive or dead, then I will gladly pay you. And here is a down payment, and he gives you each a small bag of like 50 gold.
Arismia takes it.
I pocket the gold as well.
Okay. So.
Right, good.
Okay. So you spend the evening drinking, and you know, as you would do, when you've basically got a free tab behind the bar. And the next morning, you are all up relatively early, and you get on this coach, and it heads off into what looks like a sort of very dense forest. After about 3 or 4 hours of going through this forest, it comes out the other side at this obvious forestry camp that's like a sort of small town that obviously has its foot very much in the forestry industry. Like very, brawny men cutting down trees effectively. Although there doesn't seem to be as many as you'd expect. And as you draw into the town, you pass a sign that says Missenden, where the gentry go for labour. What do you do?
I love the smell of pine in the morning.
Pine is really good for your skin,
I actually prefer it when the trees live. I'm not sure why people insist on cutting them down. Surely they are much more valuable as they are.
I didn't mean that you cut the whole tree down. I'm saying just a little bit, like a branch. Mix it up, put it on your skin. It has this beautiful glow to it.
Well, sure, you could use it as a beautiful glow, or you could enjoy the tree in all its splendor, but also then what are you using the tree for? We can make chairs, we can make tables. What would you do, Illyria, without a chair? Say, you wouldn't be able to sit, and that's a problem.
But then you're still cutting down the trees.
Some of us are quite able to sit in trees. We don't need chairs.
All right, noted. Well, look, this is Missenden. We're looking for Eisenport. How far is Eisenport from here?
The carriage slows down and you climb off the cart and ask, what's going on, where's, this isn't Eisenport, and the guy driving the carriage says, we need to rest the horses. So we've got a choice, we can either go later tonight, or we can leave first thing in the morning. It's up to you, but for the next few hours at least, the horses need to rest. So I suggest you go and have a look around the town, maybe find something to do for a few hours.
Right. Cool, team.
And something we shall do, and he gets out the car.
So, Missenden is a very small town. There's like an obvious inn, there's a couple of small houses, and there's what looks like a sort of guild shop, like a kind of workshop, but it's been recently closed. It looks like everything of value has been like packed up and taken away, and the guild hall itself has been closed.
Would it look like they'd left in sort of a hurry or under duress?
There's no sign of like disrepair, but there's also, it doesn't seem like they've taken everything. It seems like they've just taken everything that was immediately of value. So it could have been looted, but if it has been looted, they've been very tidy at looting.
Severin, won't you come over here for a second?
And Severin strolls over. What may I help you with?
You're the magical type, right? You're the magical half-demon sort of person. I don't know if you can fish out. Fish out is the wrong word. What's going on here? These people, did they move in a hurry? Were they ransacked? Is this a problem?
Severin was too busy getting the fishing rod out of his pack as soon as he heard fish out. Someone mentioned fishing?
There are a few small lakes around the edge of the village if you do want to do fishing.
No fishing? How
no,
boring.
just
use my eyes.
Yeah, your magical eyesight or something. Just do what's going on here? I don't know if we should be cautious.
You know what? I don't appreciate the tone of voice there, hey? And he starts mocking Darren a bit. Listen, okay. So we're going to go and check with the eyes, okay? And we're going to go and look and schmark what's happened where. Okay, so you take the left side and I'll take the right side, and we'll go and schmark an investigation to see what's happened together. Okay, enough with this magical eye bullshit.
Listen, Severin, oak is a term reserved for dwarves who have proven their worth in battle. I'd appreciate it if we use it sparingly, but okay. Listen, do we need the elf with us?
Severin looks at Ilaria.
Ilaria is currently inspecting the ground, trying to see whether or not there is a reason the town is looking so sparse. So she's not really paying attention when you look at it. She's sniffing leaves or something, what trackers do.
All right, well, seeing as we have a little bit of time while we wait for the horses, let's see what's wrong with the store here. I don't suppose there's anyone around to take notice of us dodgy folk.
It doesn't seem to be that busy, no. You're about early afternoon at this point, so there's not really that many people around. In the distance you can see a small work party around trees, but around the streets themselves you barely see anyone. You occasionally see the odd women just walking around, but that's about it.
Darren will turn to Arizamia. Arizamia?
Yep.
Arizmia, why don't you just stand guard there, right? We're just going to quickly see if there's anything of concern in this shop.
That is okay. I will stand here. You can go and do whatever it is you want to do, since I am the woman and I'm still a lot stronger than you are. And then she just rolls her eyes.
All right. Didn't mean no offense. Right. And then he's going to go, I don't know where, investigate to the guild shop.
Okay. You go up to the door. How are you going to get in?
Is it barred? Is it locked? Is it ajar?
Are you going to try the door?
I look at Severin.
And Severin just makes a motion forward to open the door and looks at his nails as if he's not going to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, then I'll do it.
Do me a roll to see what happens when you try the door.
Oh, yeah.
You touch the door, you push it a little bit, the door opens a little bit, and you fall backwards at hearing a noise. You think something must have just leapt out at you. It turns out that there was just a small shop bell that made a sort of ding-a-ling-a-ling noise, but because tension was so high, you've just shot back and fallen down into the sort of pool of mud on the floor.
Ooh.
Severin starts laughing.
Right, well, that was obviously a very nasty bell. Excuse me, just watch out there and lead the way. Sorry about that.
And Severin looks at him and then just kind of smirks and walks in through the door.
Okay. So, you push through the door. Again, the small bell makes the slight dingling noise, but inside it seems totally barren. There's nothing here of any worth. There's a couple of empty barrels, there's a couple of empty boxes. However, on the floor, in the middle, there is a spoon. And I will just put a picture up of what the spoon looks like. Give me a second. It's a very highly crafted
it's a pretty spoon.
Okay.
Severin will walk up and inspect the spoon and pick it up.
Okay. You pick up the spoon. It seems to be made of some kind of very dense wood. It's very neatly crafted and it's very ornate.
Severin, what's that over there?
It's a spoon.
All right, well, it looks rather finely crafted. Why would someone leave something so nice-looking in a shop if they were fleeing?
Why would someone be scared of a bell?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about. What spoon?
Ilaria! And I call out for her.
Severin quickly hides the spoon.
I enter the shop as well.
Mm-hmm.
And walk up to Darren and Severin and say, yes, you called?
Darren got scared by a bell.
No, that's not why we're here. Just quickly, question your thoughts on where the hell we are and what could possibly have happened in this area for a child to have gone missing. We suspect people are fleeing for some reason dangerous, but we now have found a spoon, an item, exhibit A, if you will.
What spoon?
What spoon?
The one that Severin, show him. Show her.
I don't have a spoon. I was too busy laughing at you getting scared by the bell.
Listen, we don't have time.
You called me in here for nothing?
I think he called you here to save some face.
You know what? Never mind.
At this point, you hear the bell ring again, and a small child walks in and says, "Excuse me, are you meant to be in here?"
Are you meant to be in here?
Mm-hmm. This was my daddy's shop.
Where is your daddy?
Oh, Mummy says he has gone north. He will be back soon. Stop asking.
That's super weird.
Oh, I'm sorry. And he wants to produce a straw doll for the child.
The child sort of looks at it with a sort of element of glee in his face. And then he turns to you and says, I can make you a basket if you want.
Oh, a basket sounds lovely.
It would cost money, but Mummy says I have to charge. I can't give baskets for free.
Why don't you go ahead and make that basket for me? I've got a couple of hours to kill.
He contentedly starts sitting on the floor, starts putting this basket together, weaving wood from a bag he's got with him.
Sorry, may I ask a question? Do we know what's north of this town?
All you know is Eisenport's to the north.
Okay. All right.
Darren will just sort of lean over to Illyria and say, Illyria, did we actually get a sort of description of Dawn Whisper's son? Was it a young son? Could it be this kid over here?
I don't think so. He did say that his son could have been married. that. I don't know. I think he's dead. What if he's dead? He did say he'd still pay us if he was dead, right?
Let's take this conversation outside. And like Severin looks at Darren and Illyria very glaringly as there is a child in the room.
Right. Okay, well, it's your transaction. I'm gonna go outside and join Arrhythmia.
Okay, Illyria wants to just look around the shop, see if there's anything of interest.
Okay. Do a roll to see if you find anything interesting. Yep. After about 3 or 4 minutes of looking around, you crouch down by a pile of what looks like discarded boxes. You open one of the boxes and you find a small hammer and chisel that look like crafter's tools, like woodworking tools.
Interesting. Since it's pretty abandoned, I'm going to pocket them anyway and give them to the dwarf.
Okay.
When I leave the room, yes.
Mm-hmm. That's fine.
Small child.
Yes?
What is your name?
Oh, Daddy called me Tim, but Mummy says my name has... I have new last... Well, no, I don't have a new last name because he's gone to... I'm just Tim.
Well, just Tim. My name is Severin. Nice to meet you.
Hello. Do you want 2 colours in your basket or just 1?
Well, what colors can you weave?
I can weave dark wood and lighter dark wood.
That sounds lovely. Why don't you do both?
He nods profusely and then starts again.
Severin starts pacing around the room, also inspecting things, trying to ascertain as to maybe what happened, whether it was a flea or a divorce or something along those lines.
Are you coming to live in our town and work here?
No, we're actually looking for a lost boy.
Oh, is he like me?
No, I think he may be a little bit older, marrying age, not weaving age.
Oh, okay.
He's actually in the town of Eistrom?
Oh, is it Eisenport?
Eisenport, yes, I wasn't.
Mummy says only... and he sort of looks to the sort of thinking for a second of how to word it and says, adulterous whores go to Eisenport.
So your father went to Eisenport?
Mummy said he went north.
Is Eisenport not in the north?
He sort of looks at you like he's just figured that out. Oh.
Maybe he went somewhere else. There's a lot of places in the north.
Are you staying in the inn?
Depends on how long we want the horses to rest. You see, we came from the south.
Because my mummy's a very nice person. She gives cuddles for gold.
Oh, she gives cuddles for gold, I see. Your mom must be a very lovely lady.
Well, she was nicer before Daddy left.
I'm sure. Does your mom work at the inn?
She kind of frequents it.
Oh, okay. And where do you stay, Tim?
Oh, we have a small home over there, and he sort of points out the door to a small collection of... They look like temporary housing, but they look like they've been there a long time.
Okay. Severin is going to try and see if there is anything else on him that he can give Tim. The only thing he seems to have is a fishing rod. That would probably be appropriate for a child. Tim, look over here.
Yes.
And he's holding the fishing rod. If you do a really good job of this, I will give you this.
Oh, do you not have gold? Mummy gets very angry when I take things that aren't gold.
No, I have
took
gold.
Some beans once and I got beaten.
Ooh, no one likes to get beaten. That's always hard. But I was going to give you gold and this fishing rod. I feel like it would do you good in this area.
He looks at you with quite sort of happy eyes, and then you notice him sort of finishing the basket, and he hands you this. It's not that big. It's about maybe 9 inches tall. It's enough to hold like a good collection of stuff, and it's relatively well made.
Why, thank you, Tim. How much do I owe you in gold?
He sort of looks like he's trying to calculate in his head and says, four gold pieces. Well,
Okay, Tim.
That's what Mummy told me I have to ask for.
Then we don't want to anger Mummy now, do we?
No.
And he hands him 4 gold pieces. And Severin taps him on the shoulder and says, "Why don't we teach you how to use that fishing rod?"
He looks quite happy and he sort of runs out towards the lake.
Severin will follow. He said, "Catch me at the lake."
Okay, he runs off towards the lake, happily waving the fishing rod.
Okay, so Ilaria is outside after this whole conversation that happened and walk up to Darren and hand him the hammer that she found and say, "Mr. Oak and Poke Pike, I found these inside. Maybe you have use for them?"
Oh, that's very sweet of you. Thank you. A dwarf can always use a hammer. Thank you very much. I'm just going to put it on my belt here because my back is pretty full. But thank you. Listen, Ilaria, where the hell is Severin off to?
They've gone fishing.
Arismia?
Yes.
I assume no evidence of any passers-by.
So when Arismia was outside, did she notice anyone pass by?
You notice a couple of women on their own. They usually seem to be in groups of 2 or 3. They don't pay much attention to you.
Okay, and is there anything else that she may have noticed that would kind of seem out of sorts?
The people here, when you do see a man, he's usually got a woman very much on his arm. The people dress in, not finery, but they're not like covered in shit and mud. They seem to be like relatively average people.
Okay. Darren, unfortunately, I didn't see anybody. There's nothing suspicious out here. I think that we need to wait and go to Eisenport.
Oh, good point. Could be fortunate, could be unfortunate. We don't yet know. How two of you would mind joining me and having a chat to some of those tree fellas? DM, they were tree fellas? What were the people doing?
Yes, for the most of the workers you see, you seem to be going into the inn and then back out to the fields.
Oh, then Darren will say, or if not the tree fellas, maybe we should spend a few moments in the inn, scope it out, see if there's anything suspicious, and then we'll call Severin.
I think that is a very good idea.
The boy's mother, I think she's a prostitute.
Okay.
Why would you say that?
Well, I was listening in on that conversation. It's happening right in front of me. And Severin didn't seem all too concerned about pointing out to the boy that his mother was a prostitute. Severin also pointed out the fact that it is entirely possible that the boy's father left for Eisenport in order to hook up with some, I don't know, what's the term? Oh my gosh. I can't even think of it. Adulterous women.
Oh, so like a whore.
All right, so this conversation is getting a little bit off the rails.
That's the word.
Okay, let's just, Darren's just going to walk off to the inn. Okay.
So I said to Ilaria, I'm pretty sure he's getting uncomfortable because he kind of knows the whoring part of it, if you know what I mean. And then she like winks at her.
Ilaria starts blushing and she's like, I don't actually know anything. And maybe it was my fault, but we shouldn't have been discussing this. And I'm actually really sorry that I brought it up in the place. And then she runs after the dwarf rather awkwardly.
Arismia is looking very confused, but follows Darren in anyways.
Okay, so we will do the inn before we do Severin and the boy. So you push your way into the inn. The inn is relatively full. It's mostly full of women, though there's about maybe a 60-40 split female-male. The men that are there, they're quite scrawny. They're not like the big beefy idiots you'd usually see being tree fellas. They look like, relatively average men, normal size, nothing more than that. And some of them do seem to have like women like draped around them and being very, not possessive, but being quite obviously like, this is my boyfriend, this is my partner, blah 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 blah.
Was there a name to the inn that we saw coming in?
The inn was just called the Message in Arms.
Okay, alright, so we see all of this in front of us.
Mm-hmm. The bar you see seems to be quite quiet. There's a about 30, 40-year-old woman standing behind the bar who just seems to sort of wave you as you come in and ask if you're looking for work.
I look at Ilaria.
Why are you looking at me?
I look at Arismia.
I don't understand why you're looking at me either.
A little sweat breaks out on Darren's forehead because of his enochlophobia, and he's gonna just wave back at the lady and sort of half shout at her, no thanks, thank you very much. checking in on everybody.
The lady sort of looks to you, cups her hands round her mouth and says, "Are you looking for a whore?"
I look at Ilaria again.
Ilaria goes bright red and she looks down at the floor and she tries to hide behind Arismia.
Then Darren will look at Arismia.
Guys, I don't understand why you're so shy. I mean, it's just women. What is going on? Darren, do
no
you want
thanks.
to go for yourself?
No, thanks, no. This is getting muchly out of hand. No, thank you very much, bar lady. We're not looking for any hordes,
The
but
barmaid
perhaps
just
an
goes,
ale.
"We have many types. 20 gold for 10 minutes."
All right, thank you. No, thanks. Listen, do you have an ale?
She grabs you a sort of flask of ale from beneath the bar and puts it up and says that'll be 2 gold.
All right, I'm going to gingerly approach the bar and put down 2 gold.
Okay.
Arismia goes and sits next to Darren, and then she's like to him, "Darren, what is the problem? Do you prefer maybe, and then she like whispers it, men?"
Oh, we have those if you want them.
It's not, no, listen, it's not any of that, right? It's just, you know the thing about dwarven women, you can't tell the difference between men and women. It's just, dwarves don't talk about that sort of thing, you know? It's just a bit strange. Anyway, Ilaria?
Yes?
I'm just going to call her over. I'm like, I need support in numbers.
Okay. Ilaria's going to walk over. Did I hear the end of that conversation?
Yes, you did.
Well, you can't generally tell the difference between men and women either. We all look the same as well. So maybe that's also why I'm not really interested in this place. Do women always behave like this? Is this appropriate in public?
Listen, some people have to make their money doing certain things. Like this.
I know. I'm just saying we have a very focused mission and we're trying to find Dawn Whisper's kid, and I just feel like we're talking about whores and things. It's just a little unnecessary. So, excuse me, barmaid.
Yes.
We're just the 3 of us here with our partner out going fishing. We're just looking for information, really, about the village of Eisenport. Do you know if anything's gone a bit strange? I noticed we don't really have the...
slightly quiet around you when that's mentioned. And the barmaid just goes, "Nope. All we know is that a couple of wealthy folk came down from Eisenport, hired a lot of the bigger lads, went away. We've not seen any of them come back since."
Oh, that would explain the skinny guys around here.
Well, there's apparently a lot of work up north for them. I mean, about every 3 months or so, usually a carriage comes back from Eisenport and says, you know, there is work for up north and they pay very well.
Do you know what kind of work?
I think it's building. I've never actually talked to the vendor. She came down, she was very dismissive of me, so I basically just called her a bitch and walked away.
Oh, nice one. And then she kind of puts her hand up to give her a high five.
She looks at you as if she's not really sure what you're doing.
Are you really
Sort of
going to leave me hanging?
Just waves at you as well.
Yeah, Arismia just kind of puts her hand down and she's like pretty embarrassed.
Listen, don't worry about it. We need to go check it out. And then Darren's going to down his ale and get up off his seat.
Okay. Well, if you change your mind and you do want a haul, we have many of them here. And as I said, 20 gold for 10 minutes. Or if you want a room with one, it's only 800 gold for the night.
Arismia screams after Darren. Yes, Darren, it's only a few gold pieces. I'm sure you will need this in order to...
He rushes out.
And then, yeah, she just starts laughing. And then she follows him out.
Okay, so we all cut to Severin and the little boy fishing. So the 2 of them are standing and Severin has been showing Tim how to do fishing. And they've only managed to catch 1 fish so far.
Okay, Tim. So just like I said, you're going to reel it in slowly, very, very slowly, until you feel a bit of a tug. Then you're going to reel in quicker, but making sure that you give enough line so that if the fish tries to swim away, he thinks he's got a moment of hope, and actually you take it away slowly as you start drilling it again.
The small child nods and tries to do what you've said. as everyone else comes out of the bar, you also notice a sort of middle-aged woman with long brownish hair and obvious bruise marks on one of her eyes walks up and says, "Tim, what are you doing with that man?"
I'm teaching him how to fish after he gave me a basket.
Did you
Severin,
pay him?
by the way. Yes, of course I paid him. I'm not a monster.
She looks at the small boy who turns around and says, "She did pay me. I got 4 gold money." And the woman goes, "Right." And you see her kind of like doing her sort of jaw. It doesn't seem to be sitting in the right place. And she looks up to you and says, "Well, thanks."
You must be Tim's mother.
What's it to you?
I'm just interested to see it seems Tim's father has gone to Eisenport.
Did you talk to him about Eisenport? And Tim just sort of looks very sheepish.
No, he never mentioned anything to me. He just said he was going up north. I'm the one who made the connection. You see, we're also going to Eisenport. We're actually searching for a very wealthy elf's boy.
Of course you
Do you know
all your men go
of...
to Eisenport, leaving your women behind with your kids to raise your family.
Well, he was the son of a wealthy elf, and the wealthy elf, his name is Dawnspring, by the way. He's actually searching for a son because he's never heard from him since, and he just would find out what happened. I wanted to know, did you encounter any such a boy that maybe came past in the town, maybe used some of the services? And he gives her a...
What I do to keep my family from starvation has nothing to do with you.
There's no judgment here. I just wanted to find out a little bit more if you may have seen him.
Let's see how she reacts. Let's roll a dice and see. She relents and tells you that although she has seen many different types of people come through, she doesn't remember a wealthy elf.
Not in marrying age at all?
She tells you that she's basically serviced a lot of men in the past 6 months, and she'd rather not think about it, but for the most part it's mostly just been human and dwarf. There's not been any elves.
Fair enough. And please, don't feel any judgment from me. My mother was part of the trade.
She sort of gives you a strange look and then sort of takes Tim by the hand and says, "Thank you, we'll be off now. You can have your rod back."
Oh, well, thank you. I was going to give it to the boy if he doesn't want to keep it.
She looks at Tim and then says, "You don't want to eat the fish around here."
Ah, I see. Okay, well, Tim, try and make one of your own one day. You seem to be quite the little woodsmith.
He nods very enthusiastically at you and then sort of waves the fish he caught around, and his mum sort of looks at him just like, ugh.
And Severin waves them off and starts to head towards the inn.
Okay, at this point you hear a very loud handbell being rang and someone shouting, "The cart is ready! The cart is ready! If we have orders we can leave now or wait till the morning."
Severin starts heading towards the cart.
Did we also hear it?
Yeah.
The call
You
to the
came out
car?
of the inn because Darren was very much trying to leave at this point.
Okay, Ilaria bolts for the cart and jumps onto the top of it. She doesn't want to ride inside.
That's fine. So it's getting into early-ish evening at this point.
Right, I suppose that means we are making an evening trip.
Okay.
Yes, it does mean that.
Okay, so are you wanting to leave now or are you wanting to leave in the morning?
Right now, please.
Right now, yeah.
Okay. So the cart sets off, and eventually after about 5-6 hours, so just getting into kind of like late evening-ish, you arrive into the next village, which is called Bishop Under Puddle.
Ooh.
And when you arrive, you get pulled to the town square. There is quite a large inn called St. Vandalf's Rest, and there is a temple. It looks like it had much more footfall than it ever does now. And in the middle of the town, there is this plinth where there is this, it's like a crutch that's been placed on top of this plinth, and it looks like it's been used by a very heavy person.
Would we know that this is Bishop Under Puddle?
There was a sign when you walked in.
On the
Puddle
way...
is spelled P-U-D-L. And sorry, it's Bishop Under Puddle. B-I-S-H-H-O-P under P-U-D-L.
Bishop Under Puddle. On the way, Darren would have told Severin what they learnt in the inn about men being hired for work in Eisenport.
Severin would have nodded and not returned the information.
Excellent. As we pull into town, I suppose Darren would pipe up and say, "Right, team, should we take a rest for the night, or is there something we want to do before?"
As you get off the cart driver basically says, "Well, next one will be tomorrow afternoon, I think, at this point. Look, judging by how tired the horses are. But it depends. If the horses have a good night, then maybe we can leave in the morning."
Right, noted.
At this point, you notice two reasonably attractive women come out of the inn and immediately walk up to Darren and go, "Hi. You've just come to a wonderful village. How about we give you the rest of the evening?" And they start trying to sort of they run their hands over you and just sort of start trying to gently move you towards the inn.
I'm with these people, these fine people over here. Sorry. Not interested.
Arismia is laughing so hard.
So,
Darren, are you sure you don't want to go with them?
Oh no, we got very important things to do. I thought we were going to go look at the temple. Excuse me, we're going to a temple. And just run off in the direction of that.
As you run off, the two girls put their hands to their mouth and say, "It's fine, 10 gold each."
Severin catches Darren and he's like, "Oh, Darren, don't deny the good ladies a good time. Don't be rude." And then squeezes his shoulders.
Severin, you wouldn't understand, alright? It's a dwarf thing.
I may not understand, but these women are asking to have a good time with you. I think it's very ungentlemanly of you to say no.
I have a very focused mentality, and I'm trying to get us all to find this Dawn Whisper child, so can we please just keep focus?
What exactly do you mean by a good time?
I think a bit of company would do Darren some good. Ladies, our dwarf is rather shy. The word, I know he talks a big game, but when it comes to actually following through, he's a bit of a... How would the word be?
A dud?
Yeah, a dud.
One of them goes, "Oh, but he's so cute," and starts ruffling his face.
I think he may get along best with you. And then he points at the one who was ruffling his face.
I dare say I'm about to take offense, so please excuse me before I am very rude. Thank you so much. Good night.
Spoil sport!
And then he's just gonna annoyedly shuffle
run
off
to the temple.
Well, sort of shuffly,
It's like someone's trying to seduce a nun.
The girls turn to Severin and go, "Well, if he's not interested," and so give you a very obvious wink.
Ladies, I don't think so tonight. Although I wouldn't mind enjoying a drink with such lovely ladies.
They sort of look a little bit saddened, but they tell you that they'll be in the bar waiting and give you again, the very obvious wink.
Order a drink for me in the meantime.
They go, "Well, you'd have to pay us to order you a drink. Company doesn't come for free."
I should have put more gold in my character sheet. I didn't realize we were doing such expensive things.
There is a point to you having very limited gold at this point.
Yes, this is true. He gives them 4 pieces of gold. He says, "Why don't you entertain yourselves?"
The two sort of squeal and go, "Ooh," and then sort of run into the tavern.
Okay.
What a waste of money. And then Arismia shakes her head.
What is a waste to you is entertainment for others, my dear. Do you care to join?
No,
There's
thank
just
you.
drink.
I'm okay. I think I'm just going to walk around and find some clues.
Well, I'll tell you what you can see at the moment. So you've got the inn, you've got the temple, there's a very large lake just to the side of it, which the town seems to be built next to and over, which is the Lake Puddle, and there's again lots of small houses.
Okay. Arismia is just gonna walk around and she's just gonna look intently on her surroundings and see what kind of seems out of place.
Okay.
So she's not really going anywhere specific. She's just walking around.
Okay.
A few feet away from this, Darren just pipes up, "Temple! I did say temple. Can we temple, please?"
Ilaria will head towards Darren because she is very confused, and when she gets to him, she's gonna be like, "Darren, do all women behave like this? Is this normal? Should I be behaving like this?"
Definitely, Ilaria.
Severin, don't confuse the elf, please. Listen, it's different with humans. I'm not entirely sure. Just observe for a little longer, Ross.
Okay, but we've been in 2 towns already, and it seems that the women all behave in the same manner. I'm beginning to wonder whether or not I'm normal.
Listen, don't get too caught up in your head. That was one town, this is another town, and this one has a temple. Can we maybe just go to the temple? Maybe we'll be enlightened by something, you know?
Okay, if you say so.
Then he's going to head off towards that.
So, you want to go to the temple, yes?
Yes, they are.
Good. So you start walking up to the temple. The temple, again, is quite grand. It's got a lot of steps and it's made of mostly stone. As you get to the top, it sort of opens up to this sort of very flat area that's obviously used for praying. And there's quite an elderly priest, and he's standing in front of what looks like a statue of a very rotund man who is wearing like a very long brimmed hat, and he is also carrying the crutch under one arm. And as the priest notices you, he turns around and goes, "Welcome, welcome, dear friends! Have you come for the pilgrimage of St. Randolph?"
Sure, yeah. St. Randolph, blessed be his name.
Wonderful, wonderful. Come forth, you will pray together.
Darren gives like a really, what's that look like? That please help me look to Ilaria.
And Ilaria says, who's Randolph?
Oh, St. Randolph, he's a wonderful patron here. And he gestures towards the incredibly fat man on the statue. And he goes, he was a very sacred, blessed man. He's one of plenty. He was a fantastic individual. And I know though his timely death came with the fact that he ate all his supplies while trying to climb the mountain is aside the point. He is a wonderful man, and he's a saint in our eyes, and he was so pure, and he preached the word better than anyone.
Right, and what was this word?
Oh, it was one of plenty, that everyone should share their food. Come, you must have some food. If you're doing the pilgrimage, you must have some food to donate to the great cause of St. Randolph. We will sit and eat it together, brother.
Yeah, and he's gonna, in my backpack I have cutlery. He's just gonna whip out his knife and fork and be like, I don't have anything on me at the moment, but maybe...
Have you eaten all your supplies, brother?
I don't think we've actually had anything to eat all day. I'm actually a bit peckish now that you mean.
I don't have much left. He sort of walks behind the thing and says, I've got a little bit of porridge, that's about all I have.
Well, I mean, I happen to have some cutlery and some friends. Perhaps we could have a sit down with you.
Well,
maybe we should ask those really friendly women and then share the food, like St. Randolph says we should.
Well, let's just leave the women, shall we? Severin dealt with them, never mind them. But just us is fine. Just us is very fine. Listen, Mr. Priestman.
Yes?
We are looking for someone by the name of Dawn Whisper. Florine Dawn Whisper has lost his son.
Did he do the pilgrimage? I mean, the mountain is far to the south.
I look at Severin.
Yes.
Was Dawn Whisper's son on a pilgrimage?
Not that I'm aware of.
No, Mr. Priestman, no, not a pilgrimage per se, just some work.
He might not have came by this way, but if you do come on the pilgrimage, you know, the mountain isn't too far. It's only 5 days' ride, and I mean, maybe you'll reach the top like us and Randolph didn't manage, but the plinth we tried to put on the top of the mountain in his honor was enormous, considering how much work it took to get it there, but it's a beautiful place, and I implore you should go and see it.
Sure.
Is it near Eisenport? Because that's where we're going. We're going to Eisenport.
Oh, so you're not on the pilgrimage?
No, dear chap, sorry, we're not. I'm going back to the bar. I don't even know how I ended up here.
Well, if you do go north, tell them that the pilgrimage is still open, that the temple's still here, and
We'll tell them,
St.
goodbye.
Randolph's crutch is still down in the town for the world to see.
Right, we will definitely do that. Thank you for your time, and thank you for this porridge. Takes like one big spoonful.
Well, I guess, thank you. And he looks very crestfallen and goes back to sort of.
Severin,
kneeling.
as he's walking out, is like, "You really should pay him."
Oh, right. Sorry. And then I'll just pull out like a gold piece and leave it somewhere.
What is that for, dear man?
Right, for the porridge and the time and the effort and the hospitality.
Oh, right. Well, we will invest it in more porridge, thank you.
Wait, is that normal? Should I leave gold too?
No, never mind. Just come along.
Okay.
Where was Arismia in all of this?
Arismia was walking around in the town, just kind of wandering.
Oh, you never came with us?
No, I didn't. Yeah, so she's just walking and speaking to some of the locals, and just asking them if they've seen Dawn Whisper's son anywhere.
The people you speak to, again, it seems to be about majority women. The men that are there are the women attached in their arm are very, like, if you try and talk to their man, they are very giving you daggers and like, I will kill you if you say anything kind of looks.
Yeah.
And the ones especially have children, it seems like the men very much are the ones carrying around the children, because it's like the women always insist on like holding on to their arm.
Right. Okay, so what she's going to do is she's going to speak to mainly the women especially if they do have kids around them. And yeah, she basically just wants to ask them if they have seen Dawn Whisper's son, and she's going to offer them gold if they can give her any good answers.
As soon as you mention Dawn Whisperer, they go, "No, I've never heard of him. Where was he going?"
You really haven't heard of him? Or are you just saying you haven't heard of him?
They shrug and they say, "We get many people through. How long ago was it? A week? 2 weeks?"
Well, I mean, I think it was... Does Arismia remember how long...
You didn't actually ask the guy at the start, so you don't know how long it's been.
Look, it must have been a few weeks, but if you can give me any information, then maybe I can give you a few gold pieces for your time.
What do you want to know?
I want to know if you've seen anything suspicious. If you've seen a bunch of grown men within marrying age going to Eisenport.
She gives you daggers, and the man she's with sort of goes, "Oh, a lot of my buddies went to Eisenport. I always thought about it myself." And she gives him a look like, "Don't you fucking dare!" And then gives you a look of, "No, we know nothing about it. Bye," and just walks on.
Listen, don't you want any gold pieces?
She again just ignores you and keeps walking.
So you want your kid to starve? And then she's like screaming as she's walking away. What kind of a mother are you? And like, shit, why are they answering? And then she's like, okay, well, I guess it's time to go to the bar and drink then. And then she turns and she heads to the bar.
Okay, so you turn up in the bar.
Yep.
And are you all in the bar, or is it just Arisma?
Oh, did you mean like...
walk back to the bar, definitely.
Okay.
Oh, did you mean like turn up at the bar like I was just at the bar, like turn up like she turned up at the bar?
No, Cole, I'm not sure they know what turn up is.
Oh, okay. Okay, never mind, sorry. So
She means like partying at the bar.
Like partying,
right,
like
okay.
that kind of turn up, yeah.
Alright, so I'm just going to assume you're all at the bar now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have followed the group.
Okay, so you're all at the bar now, and again, when you walk back into the bar it's about 70-30 women to men in this bar. And the men that are there, as I said before, are like very much like this is the man and this is his wife with him. There are no parties of men on their own, but there are lots of parties of women on their own who are drinking very heavily.
At some point, as soon as we arrive, I think Darren would turn to Severin and just say, "Listen, but I know you're the only other guy in our team here, so I just want to talk to you about what you've observed. Is it strange, mathematically speaking, that we've been to 2 towns, and the first one had about, I'd say a 60-40 split of men to women, and now we're looking at a 70-30, and we're moving further north, and the men are gone. I think we might be in a crisis here, and I don't know, I'm not saying it's a dwarven thing, but this is a problem, man."
Problem? I see no problem.
All right, well, maybe it's not useful talking to you. I don't know, it seems weird that the men are missing, and possibly this is why Dawn Whisper's kid is missing, because he's the man.
Darren. The cup is bountiful. Why do you not taste the wine?
Listen, I don't even know why we hang out.
I don't know either, to be honest. You're such a... what's the word? Prude.
I'm gonna ignore that, and I hope that it wasn't an offense that I need take.
You know what, my friend? Why don't you have this drink, sit with these two women, regale them of your tales, and ask them where the men have gone. He
Yeah, right.
taps him on the shoulder and then gives him his drink and walks to Ilaria.
Okay.
You know, I've never really seen a tiefling in real life before. What do they like
darling,
doing?
I'm here. Ask me anything you want.
Do all tieflings like to spend time with adulterous women?
If it's worth our interest, adulterous or not adulterous, doesn't really faze me.
Okay, so is it normal for women to behave in the way that all of these women have been behaving in these towns?
What? Women who either cling onto their men very possessively or throw themselves at any man who passed.
Well, yes. Is that normal behavior?
Well, it's a bit extreme from what I've seen, but I know. Why don't you go speak to that lovely bartender and ask? And he pushes her forward.
Okay.
And then Arismia joins the both of them and she says, "So what are you guys talking about?"
How the women are crazy.
The women are quite crazy here, aren't they?
Keep your voice down, woman.
So it's not normal.
No, I don't think it is. But judging by the amount of women there are here, I'm pretty sure they're pretty angry because, their men have left them. It's probably why.
Where did they go?
Well, I'm guessing they've all gone to Eisenport because I was chatting to a woman right now and just the mere mention of it, she kind of got very upset with me. I thought she was going to kill me.
Can everyone roll me a d20, please, to see if you notice the reaction of everyone around you as soon as you mention Eisenport? Okay, Darren is too busy being terrified by women.
Yep.
And Arismia is too busy telling the story. The other two of you, however, notice that there has been a hushed silence fallen across the room as soon as you mentioned Eisenport.
Ladies and few gentlemen, I hear that there's been a bit of a hushed tone around. Anyone care to fill us in?
At the moment, a lot of people giving you daggers. The barmaid goes, "Alright, come over and we'll talk. For money."
Of course. I wouldn't expect anything else.
So the barmaid tells you that they have quite a lot of people come through because they're a pilgrimage town. And they used to be a fishing town. But the lake outside, someone from up north created a deal. They wanted to dig towards Lake Puddle to sort of combine it with the other lakes from the north. And they refused. But ever since they refused, they've noticed that something in the water's been killing the fish. So their fishing village, which basically used to survive and thrive for years, has recently lost a lot of its work. And the men who were here, that aren't happily married, have all left to work up north where there's apparently work doing building.
Do you know building for what?
She just sort of shrugs and goes, "I just got told building."
And no one...
I
Never mind.
assumed it was ships, but I don't know.
Does that attach to a lake or to the ocean?
Well,
What does Eisenport actually hold?
Eisenport is on the coast.
Oh, okay. So, did they want to connect it,
They wanted
the
to
ocean to the lake, or...?
They wanted to connect us to the lake by Limestock Bay. Because the lake up there used to thrive and it's not been thriving for a while, but they seem to want to connect the lakes. It's as if they wanted this running channel all the way down from the coast. They said it would help us distribute supplies, but we didn't take them up on it.
Seems to be a pity, is it not?
Well, we for something, we seem to be cursed since then, because we can't seem to get any fish anymore. Like, the ones we do get are ill, like mutatedly ill. Like, some of them only had one eye and things. They don't look healthy. You can still
So
cook them.
surely
We
opening up the channel would allow for fresh fish to arrive and for the town
that
to
was
thrive?
one of the things they told us it would do, but our elders refused. They said it wouldn't do well, and one of the elders especially told us that St. Randolph walked from Eisenport. He didn't take by boat. mainly because he would sink the boat because he was rather a very heavy man, but he still walked there. Well, walked and took a cart, but he said in a religious purpose that Lake Puddle should remain untouched.
Well, perhaps untouched because the fish is now tainted. We wouldn't want it infecting the other lakes.
We have been able to cook the fish, but there's been less and less usable meat on them.
The town further south, what's it called again?
Missenden, yeah.
Missenden. They also seem to have a problem with the fish. They don't eat the fish there. I was fishing with a boy.
They contacted us and told us that they had accepted the deal to link the lakes together, but when we had declined it, the deal had gone sour.
Do you suspect poisoning?
We're not sure what to suspect at the moment, but with all the sort of crafting men left and very little remaining, we get by on what we can.
I see. And what can I expect when I get to Eisenport with this hush of people? Is there anything that would be a nasty surprise for my friends?
She sort of spits on the ground and says, I don't care. I don't go that far north. They've taken too many of our people. You never hear from them again. It must be a life of luxury up there for them. Not like back here, being left stuck with a family on your own.
Well, that's certainly not acceptable, and if I can.
She sort of goes, okay. Well, if you're wanting to help us at the moment, then I suppose you could hire one of the girls. And she gestures to the two girls that are currently eyeing up Darren and says, Cassandra should be available as well, but I think she's currently with a client. And at this point, you see a sort of very, very skinny girl climbing back down the stairs, trying to sort of realign her jaw.
What exactly are the girls hired for?
Well, whatever the client wants, really. They're alone with them for 10 minutes.
I think Darren would be very keen, but he needs a special kind of girl. He needs a girl who will be just as coy as he is. Do you have a girl to suggest?
Well, we only really have the 3 girls. Hang on, and she's
So of the 3, who would help a shy boy out of his shell?
Oh, all of them together if you're really paying.
No, let's keep it one. He's easily overwhelmed.
She walks to a nearby table and sort of speaks to a girl there who looks quite drunk. She walks back and says, well, Lucy will do it, but no anal, she's not into that anymore after the last guy.
No way?
No rough sex up her arse.
Okay. Completely understood.
She took a long time to walk normally after the last one.
He's probably just going to talk, knowing him.
No, that's fine. Lucy says she'll do anything he wants, but again, it'll be the 10 gold.
Severin shoots Arrhythmia a look. So, are you keen to help out a friend?
Well, I mean, if it's going to help him loosen up a little bit, then I don't mind. And then she gives the 10 gold pieces.
Okay. So you give it to the barmaid. Indeed. The barmaid goes down and says, hang on, which one of your friends is it?
The good-looking dwarf over there.
You see her whispering to the girl and pointing towards Darren. The woman stands up, looks slightly uneasy on her feet, staggers forward, grabs Darren by the wrist and goes, come on then, you're coming with me, and drags him up the stairs.
Oh my goodness. Darren, he's looking at everyone like eye after eye after eye, like what the hell, what's happening?
So you hear a door slam, you hear Darren scream, and so what are the rest of you doing while this... Occasionally, every 20 seconds or so, you hear Darren scream again. So what are the rest of you doing while this is going on?
Severin looks at Arrhythmia and is like, did a good thing.
I know. How's about a drink now? And then she calls the bar lady and she orders 3 drinks for herself, Severin, and Ilaria.
Okay, so you get given drinks. The barmaid turns to go, he's a loud one, isn't he?
He's new.
Yes, I think it's his first time. And then she giggles.
Ilaria's like, his first time at what? What takes 10 minutes? Why is he screaming like that? Are they fighting?
Ilaria, all questions
I think
will be
you need a
answered in
drink.
time.
Yes, for now, just have a sip of this alcohol, please. It will loosen you up. You're also quite uptight.
Do people drink alcohol? Do all people drink alcohol? Is it the thing that one does? Places?
Yes, it is. And then Arrhythmia takes the cup and then she downs it down Ilaria's throat. She's like, drink up.
Okay. I don't resist. I'm far too socially awkward to resist.
Okay. So the drinking continues, and you continue getting slightly smashed. 10 minutes later, this girl, you see the woman who went up with him walking back down. She sits back down and begins scratching her crotch. And as a couple of seconds later, Darren reappears, looking very startled.
Yes, with the hammer that Ilaria gave him in his hand.
Now, what on earth are you doing with that?
He's going to take really slow steps towards Severin and say, "Ah, no, that was your doing."
You're welcome.
And I'm not going to say it was unpleasant, but it was Mursa strange. Will you just tell me that in that time you did something of use with our mission, please?
For sure. Would you like to know what?
Yeah, just tell me. And can I have another ale, please?
Severin then kind of gestures with his arms to Ilaria, who I'm assuming is now feeling a little tipsy after downing her whole drink.
After downing 2 or 3 drinks, at least at this point.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got her drunk.
That's it?
What do you mean, is that it? I've made you lose your virginity and got her drunk for the first time. How many more firsts do you want me to do? I may be a magician, but I'm not completely magic.
Listen, there's going to be no more extortion and things. Thank you for the debut, Severin. Really appreciate it, but not really. I think I'm just going to retire for the night and wait for our coach to take us to Eisenport, because this is it's becoming a little bit unbearable. And Arismia,
Darren?
please don't help him. Good night.
Listen, I was not involved in anything. I was sitting here with my drink in my hand, and I was enjoying the scenery.
The barmaid tells you that she can give you rooms for the night and asks if you want any company in the rooms.
I think I'll have a single room by myself. Thank you. How much is that?
She tells you it'll cost you 15 gold for the night.
Good grief, it's a bit expensive. And then I'm going to turn to Ilaria and say, listen, how much gold?
Weren't you given 50 gold at the beginning?
We were, hey.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I've spent one.
Oh my god.
I'm a dwarf.
Arismia says to the bar lady, she's like, how much is it for all 4 of us to stay in one room?
Without company?
Without company. We have each other's company.
Oh, okay.
It's special like that.
Not like that.
He gives a wink.
Goodness.
She looks down and says it'll be 20 gold for one big room.
Okay, that's okay. Everybody put in 5, 10, and then she's counting on her fingers. 5, 10, 15, 20, 5 gold pieces each.
Yep, I give.
Okay.
Severin looks at Arismia.
Yeah.
With a knowing look of, he doesn't have any more money, but he's not going to say it.
And then Arismia's gonna look at Ilaria and say, Ilaria, don't you want to please lend Severin a few gold pieces?
Okay. I will.
Okay. And then Arismia winks at Severin.
Severin winks back.
Okay. So I give Arismia 10 pieces.
So you pay for your rooms and you retire for the evening. The next morning you wake up. Can Darren please roll me a d20?
Ew. Oh no. What have I got?
Darren wakes up with a slight, very, very strong itching sensation.
Brilliant! So worth it.
Severin, I'm just going to say that the rest of my life is you to blame.
Oh, if you just put a bit of itching powder, you should be.
All right. Well, I think the sooner we find Dawnwater's kid, the better for me and my soul. So can we please move along?
Okay.
I think that's a very good idea, but I'm very hungry, guys. I need to eat. I need some food in my system.
So why don't you collect the breakfast? I will organize the coach and we can get on with this trip.
No. With breakfast comes expenses. I don't have any expenses.
And Severin goes, well, I'm not the one who's hungry, my dear.
Well, fine. We will get food, but only for ourselves. And then she's very upset with Severin, so she's just kind of whatever.
Severin is broke, my darling. You're not going to get any money from to get the 50 gold pieces that everyone got in the beginning.
Well, you all sort of scavenge some sort of breakfast and what you can from the bar. It's enough to keep you going for the rest of the day, but it's not very much. And
Like pops a bar olive.
And some peanuts.
Yeah.
the coach is ready to leave. So you
Okay.
can leave just
My lady.
before the afternoon.
Okay, once again, Ilaria is going to ride on top. She wants to be in the open air.
Okay.
Arizmia hops in.
Darren will try not scratch.
Severin's going to smack Darren's behind as he walks into the carriage.
Ooh!
Right, so the caravan again leaves and it sort of rattles its way up north. Eventually, as you get close to the next one, you can smell the sense of, like, this is obviously a mining town. And as you draw into the town itself, everyone around you, like, there's lots of women in very, like, thick black cloaks. There's basically a fish market where all you hear is fish! Fish! And all the women look very pasty, they're very red-faced. Like, there's no men at all here, you don't see any of them. The younger women you do see seem to be coming from or going to the mining, sort of the limestone pits. But all the women you do see walking around are a lot older. They've got like red chapped hands. They're not pretty. They look like they've been working very hard for a long time.
Was there a name to this town? Did we see it coming in?
Yeah, this is Limestock Bay.
Limestock Bay.
Ah, Darren, this seems a town made for you.
I'm not looking a single woman in the eyes the whole time.
Do you have something to be ashamed of?
I'm just saying I will have no encounters with a woman on this part of the trip.
It's going to be a little difficult when there's absolutely no men in this town. Back up! And he taps him on the ass again and carries him.
As you draw into the town centre, there's a very obvious hanging victim, like someone that's been left to hang. And above the gallows it says, "We will not abandon our gods."
That's deep.
And the arm seems to have been pinned to point towards the road out of the town.
In which direction? Do we
Okay.
know what's in that direction?
Towards the north.
To whom?
Ilaria gets up and she bolts towards where the hanging had taken place, and she cups her hands around her mouth and she shouts out that all the men go to Eisenport. Really loudly.
You are getting glared at by every single woman there, including the ones trying to sell fish.
This is slightly disturbing, guys.
Well, wouldn't you expect the same if you abandoned your gods?
Well, which god are we talking about here?
That is a very good question.
There's an overwhelming
Okay.
stench of fish at this point.
Okay, Severin is going to grab the nearest lady, but in a charming way.
Get off me! What do you want?
I want to know your god, my lady.
My what?
Your god.
What do you mean?
Well, the sign above says we do not abandon our gods. No, I understand gods, but I want to know the gods.
Oh, right. Well, she spoke of the gods in the Eisenport. We don't talk about them.
Why don't we talk about
They're
them?
not our gods, they're their gods. They don't
So who are
belong
your
here.
gods?
They don't belong here.
I am confused. Who are your gods?
Lady, I don't think she's answering the question properly. Lady,
I know.
whose gods are you talking about? What are their names? What do they do?
Our god is one of fish. They used to support it. We used to get lots and lots of fish. That's where all the money came from. And then we used to kill wolves. Stab them in the eye. Stab the wolves.
Okay, we get it. You stabbed them. It's very violent. It's very well done. Proud.
The Eisenport.
Okay.
They're just men. They just want our men. They don't care about us.
It seems they got your men.
And they talk
Right.
about abandoning our fish god just because our lake became toxic. It still
You seem
gives
to not-
fish. Look at it. She picks up a fish. It looks sick. Its eyes are bulging. There's white around the gills. It's wilting. It stinks. And she's waving it in your face. See? They're still fresh.
As tasty as that seems, I don't eat fish, unfortunately.
And then
What do you mean you don't eat fish?
I don't eat fish. I'm actually a vegetarian.
What?
Arismia throws up. She throws up onto the fish that the lady is holding, and she
You ruined this fish. You've got to give me money now.
Really? I ruined the fish? I think the fish was already ruined before I
That
got
cost
here.
me 1 gold.
No. And she just keeps feeling like super sick, and she kind of like does that, that like that really.
Oh, sort of retching.
Yeah, and she's like, I can't stand here, so she like runs to like the nearest bush that she can find.
Darren is going to step in at that point and offer the lady 1 gold and try and escort Severin away.
Okay.
Why am I getting escorted away?
Because you're still there. Ruzmir ran away.
My lady, it was so lovely to meet you. I hope better luck with your fish. I did have more questions, but apparently my rude companion has decided it is time for us to leave.
Listen, I had to lose a piece of gold there for you. Will you stop offending the people?
I did nothing of the sort.
The lady looked irate because someone vomited on her fish. Who vomits on people's fish?
Not me. Clearly it was Arismia.
Look, and one more thing. I just want to make an observation. We have gone through 2 towns. This is our 3rd town. The scope and amount and percentage of men has declined the whole time, and the percentage of rotten, weird fish has increased.
Thank you. I am very aware of such notings.
Right, well, I just need to say, like, what does that mean now, man?
Do I look like a god? Do I know the meaning to life? Don't answer that.
Ilaria,
Yes, Ilaria?
Can I maybe roll nature to try and figure out what it is that's making the fish so dodge?
Yep. Roll. Yep, the fish seem deeply diseased. Like there's something, like a taint, something that's really infecting all these fish, and they basically seem like they're rotting from the inside out.
I think we need to go to Eisenberg as soon as possible.
Well, yeah, that is the plan, Ilaria. That is what we're trying to do. So I think we just move along and stop questioning poor fishmongers.
Well, have you checked if the horses are okay to go?
The man at the horse says you'll be maybe 2 or 3 hours, but you should be able to leave before the afternoon's out.
Right. Okay, that's it's decent. It's all right.
There's an inn here. There's a couple of fishmongering sort of stalls, and that's really about it. Everything else seems to be long deserted or boarded up. This place seems a lot poorer than everywhere else you've been.
Yeah, Arismia like walks out from the bushes, and she was like, I feel so much better. And then she like wipes her mouth with her hands.
I'm sorry that you had to eat breakfast to just throw it up a little bit later.
I know I'm feeling very hungry, but I don't want any fish.
That's all right. Listen, we've got 2 or so hours to kill here. I don't know what more information we're going to get about gods and men disappearing, but there's definitely something toxic that's affecting these towns down the riverside or whatever. So I think the sooner we get to Eisenport, the better.
I totally agree with you. I think I need to rest on our way there. What can we do, Al? What time are we going to leave then?
As you said, he'll be maybe 2 hours. So there's an inn, there's some fish markets, there's a couple of other things you can look at. Or you can look at the lake or the limestone mine if you want.
How about a spot of fish?
Can I go to the lake, please? I want to check the water out. I want to try and figure out whether or not it's poisoned.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to come with you, Ilaria. Severin, I am not setting foot into an inn.
I said I'm going fishing, but okay. Be afraid of all the women in this town. It's fine.
I'm just saying. I'm just letting you know, an observation. I'm feeling a little bit vulnerable.
He turns to walk and whips him with the end of the fishing rod because he's being a pansy.
As you do this, you notice that there is a very average-looking girl standing outside the inn who, as soon as she sees Darren, sort of rushes towards him and says, Do you want anything, sir? 2 gold. 2 gold, I'll do anything you want, 2 gold.
Wow, they get cheaper and cheaper each time.
She tries to smile when you know she's got maybe about 2 teeth in her head.
Darren, don't you want to give the lady a good time? It's only the gentlemanly thing to do. And he walks off with the fishing rod.
Thousands of daggers stare in the back of Severin. He turns to this average girl and says, "Listen, lady, thank you so much for the offer, but I'm wishing you a very fun day, and I might be back a little bit later, alright? Thank you."
She smiles and says, "Well, 1 gold? I'll do anything. Maybe."
I don't know how long the men have been gone, but it is strikingly and increasingly strange that the women are behaving the way they are behaving. Please excuse me.
Okay. So where are you going now?
I'm just going to follow Severin and Ilaria.
Everyone's gone to the river, yes? Well, the lake.
Yeah.
The lake.
Okay.
The lake.
So what do you want to do at the lake?
Severin
I
is
want
going to cast a line.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to analyze the water.
Okay. The water seems thick and quite viscous, and you poke something into the water and it seems there's like a thick film on top of the water, and there are already some dead fish floating in this water by this point.
Oh. I've never
That's
seen
pretty
anything
weird.
like this before.
Oh, me neither.
As in,
I'm
you see
really
a couple of
happy
the
we're
women
not
sitting
saying that
around
all.
fishing, but they seem to be fishing with nets. And when they ping it up with nets, they seem to bring up like the corpses that are hanging on the water. And then you notice them with knives trying to cut the worst looking, like, diseased bits off the fish before throwing them in a bag.
Whoa.
I don't think we should eat anything in this town.
I agree.
I think we should
And then-
not touch anything or go anywhere. We just wait for the horses.
Okay, maybe that is a good idea, but we still have 2 hours to kill.
You can, if you really want, we can just sort of spin on and just have you wait the 2 hours and then take the horse if you want.
Everyone's too grossed out.
Darren will awkwardly just wait around. Yeah, Devs.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
really terrified to
Arizmia
be
is going to do that.
water.
You sort of wait around the town, hiding from the women who, including the like two-toothed girl who's like, she'd do anything for a gold. After having been in this town for about 2 hours, you feel the desperation of this city. Literally, it seems to be a bunch of fisherwomen squabbling over anything they can get, and you can't wait for the cart to leave. Eventually, the horses are ready and the cart leaves and heads past the pinned skeleton and off to the road to the north.
Have we spoken to the driver at all of this cart?
You not really know. Do you want to speak to him now?
Yeah, sure.
Ilaria, would you like to say something? You sit next to him every time.
No, that's just awkward.
Okay. Darren will jump in on that awkwardness and go, "Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sorry, we haven't asked your name, but thank you so much for driving us. What do you go by?"
My name's Julian.
Julian. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Name's Darren. Don't know if you know this party, Arizmia, Severin, and Ilar.
He sort of shrugs as if like it's not his job to know.
Right, I'm sure you don't need...
I try not to ask names. I find that people ask me in future, "Did this man take a ride with you?" And I tend not to know.
Right, which takes me to my second question, which is no longer a question. You do this journey a lot, right?
Well, I try to keep my head down and just not think about it, but yeah.
So, how the hell do you survive the desperation in each town?
Well, I kind of rest my horses and leave.
And nobody...
How do you not get attacked by the woman? And he's like, Severin's
that.
poking his head
I'm
out
a
of the
eunuch.
carriage.
Well,
Oh.
I'm not actually a eunuch, but I tell them I am, and they believe me after this many months.
Fair enough. And he like puts his head back in the carriage.
A wave of enlightenment comes over Darren. He goes, "Right. Okay.
Darren, I will expose you.
That's all right. Listen, Julian, thank you so much for your time. Just checking, how long to Eisenport?"
Oh, about 3 hours ride. We should be there by nightfall.
Excellent. Thank you.
So, the cart continues along the road, and after about 2 or 3 hours, you come to this very elaborate town that everything seems to be very well built, everything seems to be very nice. It's like this fountains. The women are wearing jewellery and they've got lots of earrings and gold all over them. Everyone is very obviously wealthy. And as the cart pulls into the middle of the town, again, everything is very well built, very well maintained. And as you get off the cart, you notice that there is the Stork and there is the Braggart's Rest, which are the two inns.
And
There are several other buildings. There's what looks like a jail, which has a very strong pine-like smell coming from it.
Pine smell.
Yeah, like a sort of piney, woody smell. There's a schoolyard, which lots of kids are running in and out of, but again, they all seem to be female. There's a massive temple, and there's the docks themselves where all the ships are, but near the docks there's a small, artisan market, which has lots of gold jewellery, and in the middle of it there's this rather gruff-looking ginger dwarf. What do you do?
Seems like my kind of town.
Darren gives himself a scratch.
Good. Just so you're aware, it's about early evening at the moment.
Early evening. Darren turns to Severin and says, "No, I wouldn't be amiss to having a chat to that dwarf in the market if anybody's keen."
If you were that way inclined, I would have helped you out. All you had to do was ask.
It's not about that, Severin. Are you joining
It's
me?
okay. Don't worry. I've got your back. And he walks towards the door.
Arizmia giggles and then just says, "Come on, Darren, let's go and chat to them."
Well, then I follow both of them.
Ilaria awkwardly follows behind because she's very confused about the conversation that just happened.
So you get down to this market. It looks like a single, it's like a very fine forge in the middle that makes incredibly intrinsic jewellery, very small, very delicate jewellery, engraving and crafting this jewellery. And he doesn't seem to be selling anything. It seems that the women bring him something and then he makes the jewellery from that. But he is working on his own, but there are groups of women around. He seems to sort of hobble around them with this crutch. And every time you just see him go from one to the other going, "No, that's done wrong, do it properly. And he hobbles back to the other group and again just yells at them, they're doing things wrong. He just seems really angry. And the closer you get to him, you realise his left leg is completely destroyed. It's it's there, but it's been broken and twisted, and it doesn't look like it's ever going to heal properly, if you know what I mean. It looks really badly injured.
My dear sir.
Yeah.
Good to meet you. The name's Severin.
It's good to meet you too. I'm Anders.
Pardon, I didn't catch that?
It's good to meet you too. My name is Anders. Are you?
Andros.
Anders.
Anders.
Yes. Sorry, my accent is a little bit thick.
It's okay. Anders, I wanted to know, what is it that you're doing here? You seem to be doing something rather right.
I'm a goldsmith.
And a mighty fine one at that, if I do say so.
You look around and every woman, everywhere you've seen since you got to the city is wearing full gold jewellery, along the arms and down. There's lots of gold here. And he's like,
May I ask where
that's
you
all my
find
work.
May I ask where you find so much of this resource? Beautiful.
Well, the ladies bring me the resource and I work with it.
Where do they bring it from?
Oh, that's you'll have to ask them. I don't know. I'm just hired to craft it.
I see. A man of working class. And then, he turns to Darren and he winks at Darren.
Taking this as his cue, he steps in front of Severin and goes, "Oh, right. How's it? But it was Anders, was it?
Aye.
Pleasure to meet you, brother. Name's Darren Oaken Pokepike. Nice to see your goldsmithing. I just can't help but notice that injury you have there. Is it all right to talk about it? Where'd you get it from?"
I was mauled by a leviathan.
What in the world is a leviathan?
It's a big sea beast. I lost my axe. It mauled me, took me off the ship, almost devoured my leg. Hadn't been for others, I would be dead by now.
Well, thank goodness for our teams, right? And I just sort of awkwardly slap Severin on the shoulder. It's unfortunate, I'm so sorry. I'm not sure, Anders, if you have come across any elven folk in this village of Arzenport?
Elven folk?
Those tall, spindly, humanoid-like people with the pointy ears.
I know what an elf is, I'm just not sure why you're asking.
Oh, well, we just happen to be looking for a specific elf, one that goes by the name of Dawn Whisper.
Never heard of him.
Oh, that's a pity.
May I say something?
Hmm?
Do you, by any chance, know where we can find a whole bunch of men, basically?
What Arizmia means is, passing through the towns to the south of you, they have all been rather... What's the word?
Manly. Manly is the word.
No, like spiteful that all the men have come through to Eisen work.
Oh, well,
Where
I wouldn't
are
know
they
about
all
that.
based?
I'm just a craftsman. If you want to speak to anyone, you want to talk to the matriarch.
Yes, the matriarch might be quite useful in that respect.
Where can we find them?
He sort of looks at the sort of sky and goes,
She might be doing the night prayer in the school or the temple.
Ah, that's the giant building over there, yes?
That's the temple, aye.
I thank you for your help, sir, and I look forward to seeing your crafts later on in this day.
he sort of nods and goes back to work. And as you sort of turn around to yourselves, you hear him go,
For fuck's sake, not like that. I told you, not like that.
Yeah, Severin will walk away without flinching.
Yeah, and Arizmia is just going to turn around and walk straight to the temple.
Following.
okay,
I'm also following.
okay. So are you going into the temple?
Ideally, yes.
Yes.
Okay. So you go into the temple. Ahead of you, there are several pews on your left and right, and there seems to be a further set of pews on the far right. Ahead of you, there's lots and lots of candles around a mural. There's a couple of people who are bent over in prayer by the candles themselves.
Severin will light one of his own candles and place it on the display, I guess.
Laurie is going to walk up to the front of the temple, like in front of all the pews, and she's going to cup her hands around her and she's going to shout really loudly, Does anybody know what happened to the men from Hounds that migrated to Eisenport for work?
The two women who are praying sort of get a bit of a shock
Face palms.
and look over and go, What? Who are you? Who are you?
Please, lady, pardon my French. She's rather socially awkward. She doesn't know how to respond in certain situations.
I see. Where are you from?
We've been sent from, and then he clicks his fingers for Darren to say the name of the town.
Where the hell are we from? What was the first place we left? Where we met Florian Dawnwhisper.
Dawn Spring.
Florian. His name was Florian. I don't know where we were from.
Florian. Florian, okay.
Ladies, it doesn't matter where we were from. What matters is where we have traveled. And we've gone to. And he clicks again to actually give names now.
We went through Missenden. We definitely went through Missenden, and then Bishop under Puddle before coming through Limestock Bay, where we were the most saddened by the situation.
And now we're here.
Oh, and you immediately see that the woman behind has noticed that you're both male, and has come over and said, "Oh, you poor dears. Oh dear. Have you travelled long?"
It's been a couple of days, yes.
Well, you need to come rest. Come, we will get you the finest beds we can. Come. And she takes you out of the
Severin will walk
shepherd
right
you out of the
along.
temple towards the inn.
Yeah, Severin will follow.
May I ask a
What
question?
about us?
Are you coming?
Yeah, Arizmia is following.
Okay.
TM, I just want to ask a question. Is there a normal sex ratio in this?
This
Like,
is
is it
entirely women. Apart from Anders,
Entirely
there's no men.
women, apart from the dwarf.
Yep.
Ah, okay.
That said, there are several pregnant women walking around. Maybe there's there's going to be far more than 90, but say if 90 was the number of women, then about 30 of the women are pregnant.
So a third.
About a third.
So
But
the
there is
dwarf's
only one man.
been busy.
Yeah. Okay.
My ladies, where are you taking me?
The woman takes you into the Stork Inn and
Stork
says, "Sisters, we have a man!" And all of them go, "A man!" And then they sort of fuss over you and they say, "We'll give you the finest room we have. Just come with us. And
Severin allows himself to get pampered.
they take you up to one of the rooms they have, which is very lavish, a very sort of double bed, single person room. But they basically put all your stuff down and then they take you back down and then they start offering you what do you want to eat, what would you want to drink, and all that kind of stuff. They
My ladies,
completely
whatever you have to
ignore.
offer.
They are completely ignoring
The ladies.
the ladies. They're fussing over you, fussing over Darren. completely ignoring the ladies.
Okay. My ladies, whatever you have to offer, we accept.
Severin, am I far away? Am I in the same room?
You're in the same. You've also been kind of fussed over and given this like quite big room.
Okay. Kind of like looking between bodies that are doing whatever they're doing. Darren will say, Severin, I can't help but make another mathematical observation, but it does seem like there is a very, very distinct lack of men.
It is apparent, Darren. You do not need to point out the obvious.
That's what my dad used to call me, apparent Darren.
Ladies, if you wouldn't mind also partaking in a meal or two for our other two companions. Actually 3, the driver is also around.
The driver's sort of sorting himself, but the women sort of, it's as if they sort of blink at you and smile, but they don't respond to either of the two women there. They just kind of go, "What 2 women? There's only us."
Yes, in my eyes there are only you, and then he takes his plate that he's been given and he like passes. He doesn't break eye contact with the woman, but he like passes it off to Arismia.
Arismia takes the plate.
Was it not what you wanted?
I'm feeling less hungry and more in wanting to hear your story.
Well, first of all, you obviously want a drink, and they sort of go, and you're brought like a crate of this kind of weird kind of greeny liquid, and they pour you a glass and they hand it to you. It stinks of pine. And they go, "It's Vicina, we make it ourselves, it's our holy thing, it's very, very nice."
Okay, before I partake of this, I'm rather a connoisseur of drinks. Please explain to Darren and I, and he like shoots an eye at Ilaria and Arismia. How is this made? How is this godly? Please explain. I need to know the whole story before I partake.
We can't tell you that, it's shrouded in mystery. It's our own thing, we can't tell you that. It's an ancient family history. It's basically it's made from pine and it's got quite a high alcohol content. It's great. We use it for everything here.
Is it like Winterline?
Kind of.
The Master Oakenpoke Pike is going to just chime up really quickly and say, "Excuse me, ladies, you wouldn't happen to be able to escort us, or at least let us go free to see the matriarch, would you?"
"Oh, we'll bring the matriarch to you. It's fine, just you relax. You've had such a long journey." And one of them starts like massaging your shoulders and stuff.
Ooh, yes, Severin will accept this.
Darren just looks like awkward again.
He's got his glass in his hand, like waving it lavishly. Basically, Severin looks like one of those Greek gods that get fed grapes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so
he's lapping it up.
You take a sip of the Ritsina. It's horrendously strongly alcoholic. Mm-hmm. As in, like, a glass of this and you will be completely smashed.
Okay.
But as soon as you take a sip and put it down, they keep filling your glass back up.
He will sip it slowly, very slowly, and at some points he will pass it, like, again, without breaking contact with the ladies, for Arismia and Ilaria to have a sip if they wanted.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, like, take the glass from him and return it back, like as if nothing's ever happened.
Okay.
I have another question.
Yep.
Can Ilaria use nature again, make some sort of calculation whether one male anything could impregnate that many females at once?
It seems unlikely, but you don't know what's going on here, so...
Okay.
You don't even need to do a roll. It just seems unlikely, but you don't know what's going on here, so...
Yes, no, I don't know what's going on, but I wanted to check that. It's in character to check something like that.
Alright, so ladies, just whenever that matriarch is ready, is she coming? Is she on her way?
One of them says that she's on her way to see if she's free. It might be the morning you speak to her. So for the moment, rest. You've had a long journey. You must rest tonight.
Darren's going to swizzle the drink in the glass or mug or whatever and smell it and go, I recall that your prison seems to smell a lot like this. Why would that be?
Oh, as we said, we use it for everything here. Everything from drinking and celebration to cleaning. It's highly alcoholic. It kills any form of poison.
All right.
Kills any form of poison, you say?
Yes.
Have you poured some in the lakes?
Oh no, we wouldn't waste it by pouring it into the lakes.
But do you not believe that the lakes that are adjoining, that were supposed to be adjoining to the... And he clicks again for Darren to give the name.
Sorry, what are you looking for? I don't know what you're looking for.
The lake town.
Lake Puddle. Bishop and the Puddle. There was a lake there? There was Lake Puddle? Is that what you're referring to?
No, the other one.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The last village we were at.
The one in Limestone Bay. Limestock Bay.
Limestock
Bay.
That lake seems to be a tad bit poisoned. Do you not think a bottle of this would clear it right up?
I've never been there. I've never been out of the city.
Oh my dear, but we shall travel.
I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be good for the fish, put it that way. We tried it as a preservative for fish. The fish were just very, very strong afterwards.
Sounds like my type of fish.
What else have you tried this on?
Oh, we tried in everything. We tried it in all of our sort of natural cooking. That's why everything smells so lovely in trees.
And do you feed it to the men?
What men?
Darren goes quiet.
My dear, we haven't had a man here for several months.
Where have all the men gone?
Oh, they go off on ships.
To where exactly?
Oh, I don't know. You'd have to go and look at the port. The port is where all the men go. They don't stay in our lovely city despite the hospitality we offer.
My question, ladies, with such wonderful hospitality, I'm sure men from all the other villages come through to the port, do they not?
Well, we've had several men come up, but they've just gone straight onto the boats and left.
My question is what are they doing on the boats?
Well, there's work overseas. You know, a lot of these men, they're labourers at heart, and they go where the money is. The money is found a lot of the time overseas.
And your charming dwarf, Goldsmith, and he clicks again for his name.
Oh, Anders.
Anders, yes. Oh, and Anders told us a regaling tale of how he was attacked by a Leviathan. Was this on his journey to the sea?
Well, he was a warrior. We found him. He basically was brought to us by a party who had said he was very wounded, and he showed us what he could do with gold, and our hospitality has kind of kept him here.
That is amazing. His workmanship is spectacular.
Oh, his workmanship
How
is
do we
always
get to the
fantastic.
port? From here?
Oh, it's just outside. You basically just gesture, and down past Anders' stall is this very large dockyard.
Okay, guys, I think it's time that we head to the port, don't you?
Why would we rush with such wonderful company? And he winks at Darren again.
Well, I mean, I don't know about the company necessarily, but it is not. Perhaps we rest up and go first thing in the morning. I'm not sure.
Do you not believe it's worth a rest and speak to the matriarch before we make our way down to the dock?
I thought we were seeing the matriarch in the morning.
Yes.
I was a little bit confused.
So we rest up, see the matriarch in the morning, and then go down to the dock. And he looks at Ilaria so that she can understand.
Okay, maybe that's a good idea.
All right, as long as I'm not spending the
I'm
night
not
alone.
tired. I don't need to rest.
Ladies, did you hear? Darren doesn't want to spend the night alone.
No, I didn't mean it like that.
I think we should find him someone to company.
Oh, all the women kind of seem quite interested, then go, wait, do you mean company as in the... And they sort of all look at each other, and some of them start giggling and go, that kind of way.
I'm not sure Darren is that kind of way inclined.
Because we don't do anything with that kind of way until we have rings on our fingers.
What a whole bunch of... Darren is more looking for the cuddling kind.
Oh, we don't even do that anymore. The last gentleman who turned up and just wanted a cuddle, well, he ended up getting the harsh side of the matriarch's whip.
What? And why would the matriarch do that?
Well, he attempted to deflower Lucille.
How dare he?
Right, I'm not getting anywhere near Lucille. I'm going to stay in the matriarch's graces. Thank you very much. Good night, ladies. Good night. Good night.
Okay, I'm very confused. First, what is that kind of way? And secondly, why does it require a ring? And another question, who is Lucille? And why does she have a flower?
Arisma just laughs and kind of face palms.
Severin basically rouses himself out of his godly tempered state, and he goes, Lara, there are so many things we need to discuss, but I will save the birds and the bees talk for tomorrow morning. Go and get some shut-eye in my room. You can sleep with Arrhythmia. I will share the bed with. And he looks and he sighs and he goes, Darren.
Much appreciated, much appreciated.
And then Severin addresses all the ladies. He's like, my ladies. And he wants to see if there's any pregnant women that are surrounding them.
There are no pregnant women surrounding you. It's only the non-pregnant ones.
I've seen a couple of women who are expecting in the town. Such a wonderful miracle of birth. But I wanted to know, where are the fathers?
The fathers? Oh, they must have left on the ships as well. As we've said, men don't tend to stay around here.
So the children will grow up fatherless?
Oh no, they will grow up as part of our loving commune. We have several women. We all chip in and we all raise the children together.
As they say, it takes a village.
I mean, you can see that at our school tomorrow if you wish to go past.
Oh, I would love that.
Right.
Yes. So yes, what now?
Good night. And Darren's going to try usher them all out.
Severin is like blowing air kisses as he leaves.
So you all adjourn for the night?
Yeah.
Yep.
Next morning you were woken quite early by the sound of a bell ringing, and it's the sound like of a church bell.
Okay.
And as you sort of look out one of the windows, you hear the sound of, it's like people speaking in unison. It's quite a young, high-pitched voice, so you're assuming women and children speaking, and it comes from the school.
Can we hear what they're saying?
Roll to see what you can hear. Severin definitely hears a chunk of it. Basically, what you hear is, since you come halfway through it, you hear the sort of chant of, bless our days with your glory and deliver us from the great cold one. Cast us not into the deep below, but bring us to your side beyond the waves. Blessed be.
What is the temperature like in this town this morning?
It's about normal. It's, average for time of year. You're probably getting into about what the equivalent of about October would be.
In the northern hemisphere?
Yeah. No, I keep forgetting, sorry. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So slightly
sort of like
chilly.
getting into sort of like a warmish but beginning to get colder time of year.
Severin will relay everything that he's heard to Darren. What do you suppose it means?
Well, maybe that answers the gods question you were asking. But I just must tell you, I don't much like cold.
Well, who's a fan of the cold?
I don't know, polar bears, maybe?
Maybe it has something to do with the water.
What, the cold?
Ilaria, can you hear us from the other room?
Oh shit, I forgot.
God, the privacy in this place is just uncomfortable.
The walls are so thin.
For some reason, I thought we were in the same room. I do apologize. I take that back. Let me rescind
It's
that
fine, I'm
statement.
whispering to you through a wall now. You might as well come here.
Yeah, Arrhythmia drags Ilaria to Severin and Darren's room.
Good morning, ladies. I trust you slept well.
Yes. But we were woken up by these children. They were just talking and chanting so many just unnecessary things. Do you know what it means?
I don't know what it means.
But we can go find out.
I think that's a very good idea. Look, we need to get started. We need to go to the port. We need to speak to the matron or whoever we need to speak to. We have to get going.
I think the matriarch might be a little bit insulted if you call her a matron.
Listen, matron, matriarch, I don't care. We're here to find the boy. Let's just find him and let's go home.
So as they are aware you're awake, you get sort of bustled downstairs and you get fed, well, the two males get fed with a plentiful supply of food.
Again,
the two women again get completely ignored.
Yeah, again, Severin will move his plate again without breaking eye contact with the woman, as if it's not completely as if it's not happening. Moves the plate to the woman for them to share, and he will share with Darren. Basically picking every now
But
and
you
then.
need your strength.
Ladies, I am strength aplenty.
A couple of them giggle at that.
Darren will just give thanks for the meal and exit.
Okay.
Arrhythmia will follow.
Do we know where the matriarch is?
Well, I'm sure these fine ladies will be able to show us. And he winks at them.
Aren't we heading to the school?
Is
Aren't
that
you
where she is?
outside?
So you're outside now. Is there Anything you want to do?
Ladies, please lead the way. We would love to meet the matriarch.
Okay, so they take you up towards this. There's a school to the side, which again seems to be entirely populated by young girls of various ages who seem to be learning passages about... They seem to be talking a lot about something called She Who Waits Beyond the Waves.
She Who Wakes Beyond the Waves.
Mm-hmm.
What do you suppose that means?
I think maybe we should ask them.
Okay.
Can you
It
just...
sounds like it's under the water.
Oh, thank you, Captain Obvious.
What if it is that thing that attacked that man?
Let us not make assumptions, because you make an ass of you and me.
Well, I mean,
Well
it does seem like a logical explanation, don't you think?
I think
Well-
we should meet the matriarch and ask her the
it's
knowledge
someone-
on the situation.
Someone once said causation is not correlation, but I'm with you, Arizmia.
Thank you,
How
Darren.
come there aren't any boys in school?
Maybe it's an all-girls school.
It's not a co-ed.
Okay.
Severin chuckles and just is asking the ladies questions about their lives.
Okay. What do you want to ask?
My ladies, with a town filled with so many women, what is your day-to-day life? Tell me a day in the life of you.
Oh, we clean the temple, we worship at the temple, we got the fish that come in from the docks. There's a lot of fish come in every single day.
And is the fish healthy?
Fish are very healthy. And she
glad.
offers you one, basically just gestures to some that they are preparing for the children. The fish look incredibly healthy, like very big, lots of good thick meat on them.
They look amazing.
This is a bit strange.
Yes, almost too amazing.
Excuse me, ladies, are you aware that the fish just in the neighboring town, some 2 hours cart ride south, the fish are terribly sick that side?
Oh no, what happened to their fish?
Oh, that's sort of what we're kind of trying to find out, but really we're actually just looking. It is possibly connected to what we are actually trying to do, which is find someone, but it's possible that if we figure out why the fish are sick, we could be onto something yet.
Well, maybe you should study those fish. Maybe they'll help them. I mean, we could send them some fish from here, but the last time we went to that village, we were basically chased away with sticks.
That is rude and unnecessary.
Listen, I can't help but want to ask one question. Where are all the men?
Oh, they're away on ships.
So the people keep telling us.
Can you tell us what they're doing on the ships?
Well, what do men do on ships? They are labourers. They're probably away off to build some foreign land or do some work there. I mean, so far they're very strong men. I mean, they must be in demand everywhere. I mean, they were in demand here while they were here.
Darren turns to Severin and says, "Look, can't we just tell Mr. Fluorite's wiping that his son is on a ship somewhere?"
I'm pretty sure that's not going to be the answer he's hoping for.
Wouldn't that be lying?
Well, I'm not sure because I don't know what the truth is.
Ilaria does have a point.
I just think that something is fishy. And I mean, mind the pun, but something is very fishy here.
Alright, I think we need to talk to the matriarch.
I think that's a very good idea.
The girls tell you that the matriarch is down at the docks.
Will you please take us there after you've shown us the school?
So you get shown around the school, you get shown that there are lots of, as I said, young girls learning about the religion of the land. And then you get taken down to the docks. And the docks, there are about 15, 20 fishing boats, very small fishing boats, but they are laden with fish, like more fish than you've ever seen being taken off. And yeah, unlike previous fishing towns you've been in where, you know, the fish lie on the dock and they stink already, the fish don't even seem to have that. It's like they're so fresh that they don't smell yet. And you just see groups of women just taking the fish and gutting them and taking the meat off them as they wait. And the matriarch herself seems to be standing like halfway up the dock, like sort of and kneeled in prayer, blessing the dock itself.
Severin will go up to her and kneel next to her in silence.
Okay.
Darren will lean over towards Ilaria and whisper, "Do you suppose they are serving the saint? What's his face? Randolph?"
Maybe. I mean, this fish looks amazing. I'm pretty sure that Randolph would overeat himself to death fish like this.
It's a good point. Maybe that's why they got rid of him.
I thought he died trying to walk up a mountain.
I meant him and all the men, all the hymns.
Ah. Do you think it has something to do with the birds and the bees? I mean, Severin did say that in the morning was a great time to talk about the birds and the bees. I actually know what that means.
Darren will just stand nearby Severin, I guess.
Yes, Darren. Tell Larry about the birds and...
Are we sure that's the matriarch?
Pretty sure.
Darren's going to look awkwardly at Ilaria and then kneel down next to Severin.
Okay, Ilaria is going to walk up to the matriarch, tap her on the shoulder and say, "Excuse me, madam, could you please tell me about the birds and the bees?"
The matriarch rises and turns to face you. She's got more gold on her entire arms than anyone else so far. She's even got like a sort of like ring that lasts from the top of her middle finger all the way down to like almost her elbow. That's how much gold is covering her arms. And she goes, my child, you wish to know about the birds and the bees. Well, that's how procreation starts, but that's a filthy word. We don't talk about it here.
Yet I see some of your women have been blessed with the birds and the bees. Their fruits.
She looks at you kneeling next to her and she goes, well, filthy men do come to our town and impregnate when they should just accept that women can say no. But that's why I tell all my girls now they're not allowed to do anything with a man that involves anything more than shaking his hand without a ring on their finger.
Wise words, wise woman.
Oh my gosh, so you need a ring to shake hands?
My dear,
humans are so interesting.
If you don't have a ring on your finger, it doesn't show commitment, and commitment is what we need. I mean, your young dwarf friend there, if he wishes to marry one of my girls, he would need to put a ring on her finger. I couldn't just allow him to copulate freely. What would the people say?
Right. Can we just get to the point now, please? Please, can you tell us something? Where are all the men gone?
Oh, the men. Yes.
The men, yeah.
The men, they're all away on ships, I'm afraid. We build them here. We get a demand every couple of months to build a large ship, and then we hire the men. They come, they build the ship, and then they leave on the ship with the men. The offer of gold is too much and too tempting to not take it.
Even with married spouses left behind.
Some men have a price, I'm afraid.
Seems that all men have a price.
It's, as a woman myself, we would never forsake our children, but men are free-spirited creatures. They are not tied to the apron strings as we are, my dear.
True. As a son of a very strong woman and an absent father, aware of that situation, and I agree wholeheartedly. My question is we have been sent to your beautiful town, passing by villages that have been stricken with ill fish and disease. It appears that the men from all the towns, your price has been so high it's taken even from 3 towns over.
Well, when we did say that when we offer to build a ship, the person who usually offers to pay is very, very handsomely rich. He will offer a lot of gold. And as I said, all men have a price.
And what is her name?
Whose name?
The woman who offered to
build the ships? Oh, I can't disclose that. That's private information.
I simply asked for interest's sake of wanting to go into a business partnership with. It is rather difficult when
if you wait around here long enough, I'm sure that she will spawn.
Is she the god that you worship?
No. We worship she who waits beyond the waves. She turns to Ilaria. She cares for you, my dear, and she strokes her face.
What is she waiting for?
And she cares for you, and she strokes Arisma's face. And she cares for all of the ladies of the world. She's very caring and very loving. A mother, if you were.
Okay, yes, that's wonderful.
Sorry, a mother to only women?
Well, men are free-spirited, women are tied to this apron string. We are the weaker race. We need a mother figure.
Yes, and you have provided that very well, along with your woman one who waits beyond the waves.
What does this mother figure look like exactly? Have you seen her before?
Oh, she's beautiful. She almost has wings of pure gold. She's a very, very wealthy, beautiful woman.
Is this where you get the gold from, the devil?
She sort of flicks her hair back and this almost cascade of gold like pours down her neck of just this like very fine netted gold jewelry.
And
Does she live in the sea?
Well, she doesn't live in the sea, but when we die, we go to become with her, at her side, in the sea.
In the sea?
Well, you know, the bodies are taken out to sea and left, and they don't come back and wash up on the shore. They are taken by she who waits beyond the waves.
What bodies are you talking about exactly?
When we become old, my child, for everyone knows that mortality is only a short time.
Can we see this god of yours?
You can see her in every smiling child that's here. Look at that child there. Her face is lit up with childish glee that reflects the love of our god.
Matriarch, I have a difficult question.
Yes, my child?
Why is it that the Limestock village finds your god sacrilegious?
Oh, it's a sad, sad tale. One of my girls, she went there and she thought that she would spread the word of she who waits beyond the waves, but these Philistine women, they would not listen. They killed her. They tied her up and then hung her by the neck, and they called it a tribute. Ever since then, our god has looked foully on them, and I hear that their fish and land have become diseased, and that's only strengthened my resolve that we do worship the correct god.
It is not only them that has become that foul fate. There are 2 other villages who have actually affected. Their fish have grown ill and diseased and mutated.
The bishop under Puddle, the land of fake saints. They worship this fatooned old thing that failed to get up a mountain once because he ate himself too thin. They are not worth worshipping, and we offered to assist them and make them part of our beautiful world, but they would not listen. Their fate is their own.
They are now suffering those consequences.
At this point...
We seek an elven boy. Actually, we have been sent by his father 4 villages south. The name escapes me, and the dwarf is useless. And...
I'm afraid if you don't have a name, then I can't really help you.
The name is... And he starts clicking for Darren to remember.
Darren is going to rise up off his knees, pump his arms twice in a similar fashion to Beyonce. The single ladies moment.
Okay.
And turn to you and say, "It is Dawn Whisper."
Yes, Dawn Springs.
Whisper. No, I think I would remember such a flashy name as that. I've never come across.
He's an elven man that we were told came to Eisenport to do work and has lost contact. Apparently he came about several months ago and has lost contact for a couple of weeks.
My dear, I've never heard of such man. And if I had, he'd left little, if any, impression upon me.
This is unfortunate. We were sent to find out his fate, whether he had found one of your women and married, or decided to live a life of adventure, or passed away.
Well, if he had been married, he's long since deserted my girl. Because there are no men here. They all left upon the last ship.
Do you know where their last ship was supposed to go?
All I know is it journeys into the sea. We never see it again.
Seems to be the case. Is it possible to follow in their tracks? With one of your boats, of course.
Well, I suppose if you are devout and believe in she who waits beyond the waves, then anything is indeed possible.
I would like to try.
Severin, are you suggesting we go out to the sea to meet she who waits beyond the way?
I thought she was waiting for us to die, so that we could go with her beyond the waves.
Yeah, so did I.
Who is this her you speak of?
She who waits beneath the waves. That whole explanation.
Dear.
Wait
She
for us to
waits
die.
beyond
Calling
the
me a
waves.
she.
beyond.
He's not
it
waiting
is a
beneath
beyond.
the waves. That's the Great Cold One. You do not
Who's
want
that?
to anger him. He comes.
Who is
for
the
them.
Great Cold One?
The Great Cold One is the one who comes in the night and takes naughty children away, down to the cold depths beneath the sea, where you never see the sun ever again, and you have to spend your entire existence in darkness.
I am no such stranger to darkness.
Well, I
But
think
what
that's
constitutes a naughty child? There are certain severities.
One that disobeys the rules we have here. Anyone who is found to be maltreating or ignorant or horrible to their fellow girl is taken away by the Great Cold One.
Severin, is it possible that this Dawn Whispers kid was mean to his wife or his chick or something and has possibly been sent to the waves beneath or
I
beyond?
do not know, Darren. I believe us taking a boat is the only way to find out.
All right, Miss Matriarch, thank you so much. Is it possible for you to give us a boat?
Please.
Boat, you say? Well, there are many fishing boats here. I mean, you could speak to one of the girls. Maybe they'll offer you one. But as far as a boat, I don't have any I could lend you. But as I said, the girls are very offering, and I'm sure they would charge you a minimal price.
Darren scratches.
Thank you so much, Matriarch. May I call you by a different name, or do you only go by Matriarch?
I had a name once, but I have been the matriarch for several years now, and it is an honor to be called such. I do not wish to be called another name.
Then Matriarch, you shall be called. Thank you for your aid, and if you have anything else to tell us, please do not hesitate.
Thank you, my child. If you should need me, I will be at the temple. And she walks past you back off towards the temple.
Severin pushes Darren towards the nearest woman with a boat.
Oh, just wait. All right, can we have a huddle real quick?
Severin sighs.
Wait, don't you need a ring? Huddle.
Oh, I'm sure we don't need a ring to huddle, but we can make a ring. Whatever. Listen, what the hell are we doing? Yeah, can we just have a game plan?
I'm pretty sure the game plan was pretty straightforward.
Well, I feel like we've just ping-ponged from town to town to town to town, and now we're going to get on a ship. And I mean, I'm not a fan of oceans, but I don't mind them. It's just we going out to sea seems a bit extensive for 300 gold.
I'm not going to lie to you. I completely agree with you because at this point, I am not wanting to go onto a ship. And I do not want to be taken by the sea monster or whatever it is this lady was talking about because I am too young to die.
Oh my gosh, what do you mean we could die? Okay, I'm not going anywhere near the sea. If I'm going to die, I'm anywhere
Aria,
near.
we are not going to die. Relax. Arismia is being dramatic. We are simply going out into the ocean to try and meet the goddess to see if she has seen the ships and is able to answer our question.
Right, now I'm not much of
to follow the ships in their path.
Okay, well, it's all right, fine. I'm not a religious man or dwarf, but how the hell do you call a god? We're not just going to sail out into the sea and just sum a whistle for someone.
Well, we will have 2 women with us, and surely we will not suffer an ill fate if the one who lives beyond the waves is protecting her females.
All right, well then, fine. Okay, good. Thank you. Huddle break.
And Severin pushes them towards the nearest woman. Introduce yourself.
Oh, hello, madam.
Yes?
Is this your boat?
No, this is my hands. I'm standing in my boat.
Oh, how big is this boat? Can I see?
It's your standard fishing boat. It would hold maybe about 8 people at a real push, but it's not very big. It's like bigger than a rowboat, but not much.
I see. Madam, I don't suppose you would do us the courtesy and great favor of taking us out to sea for a brief moment.
What for?
Oh, we just would like to pay our respects to she who waits beyond the waves.
Well, the temple's up there.
Apparently this is a very special need, a religious experience that we need to be on the ocean for.
She looks at you incredibly blankly and just blinks and then goes, what exactly are you wanting to do?
We are wanting to follow in the path of those that have sing.
She just stares at you just like, what?
But
Men
look,
who followed the boats before, we would like to follow them. We have a mission to find out one of the So we're sent through the way.
But they are full galleons. They're far bigger than my boat.
I believe that the ocean will take us where we need to be.
There are no other, bigger boats in this port, are there?
No, this is the all the boats are about the size of fishing boats.
Alright, okay, cool. Well then in that case, listen, if you can't afford to take us out, perhaps we could just borrow your boat for a small fee.
She again sort of blinks and then looks at you and says, "So you want to take my boat out to sea?"
Sort of like a rental, yeah.
The matriarch did suggest that you would be obliging.
Well, I guess if the matriarch says it's okay, then I guess it's okay. It will cost you 50 gold, though.
Darren has 48 gold left.
Darren, I'm going to murder you.
So wait, Darren has 48.
Yeah.
Is that what you said? So I'm just gonna give you 2 gold pieces. To make the 50.
My lady, thank you very much. Here is your 50 gold.
Okay. She takes the bag of gold off you, stands out of her boat and gestures and says, "I guess, take care of it. It's done me very well," and begins walking up the dock towards the town.
I look to Severin and I go, I think we just bought a boat.
Rented.
That is very true, but now tell me something. Who knows how to actually drive the boat, or?
Well, I mean, I'm a
what I
third
mean.
hand at dungeoneering. I'm pretty skilled in dungeoneering. I'm sure it's not really all that different.
Okay, well, I was just checking.
I'm pretty sure Ilaria knows a thing or two.
About boats? Oh no. Trees. I know a lot about trees. Trees and water and leaves and tracking animals.
What's the name of the
This is technically a tree on water.
Oh, and arrows. I know a lot about arrows and the type of feathers that you should use to make the best arrows.
Severin,
Oh my god.
I think we are overreaching, and I feel like we have just spent gold unnecessarily if we can't drive this thing.
Severin goes, "How hard can it be?" And he stands. Is it like a rowboat? Is it a?
It's about, as I said, it's a kind of like a sort of bigger rowboat. Not much bigger, but big enough.
Okay. He sits at an oar, a paddle, an oar, a paddle, a paddle oar.
It'll be an oar.
An oar, and well, are you going to join me or not?
Right, of course, yeah. And Darren sits down at another one, I guess.
Yeah, Arismia gets in and sits down, and she kind of just prays that she's gonna be alive.
Okay.
Is she praying out loud?
She is definitely praying out aloud.
Do you specifically use words like "I do not want to die"?
Yes.
Okay,
Ilaria,
Ilaria starts having a panic attack.
Darren will start paddling really quickly.
Severin will as well.
Yeah, Arismia is just gonna tap you on the back and be like, well, at least if we die together. Then she just starts paddling as well.
But I don't want to die.
Well, I
And then
guess
I'm
it's
also
not up
gonna
to
carry
you.
on, rowing really hard while I'm busy having a panic attack.
Okay.
About impending doom and death and how horrible it is that I'm going to
So
die.
you start going in circles. Just
Severin
rowing
goes,
really hard. and then
Ilaria,
not.
just row. If you don't, your breathing will become erratic. It'll help calm you.
Okay, I row, but really hard.
We row really hard too.
Compensate.
Okay. So you row for a couple of minutes till you're quite far off the shore at the moment. What do you do?
Severin motions to Arismia to address the lady beyond the.
Okay.
Why must I do everything? Oh my goodness. And then she's like, lady beyond the water, beneath the water, above the water, whatever you are. Please come
This
to
is
us.
so respectful.
Please come to us and save us and help us, and please can we just find this little boy? This is taking up a lot of our time. And then she just kind of puts her hands in her her head in her hands, and she's just muttering to herself, I don't understand why I came on this trip. It's just too much. We are gonna die, and if we die, then we're gonna go underneath the water, and then what happens underneath the water? Then I'm not gonna breathe, and then she just keeps going on and going on and going on and hyperventilating, and then yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Ilaria bursts into tears because now she's convinced that we're going to die.
Roll to see how your prayer works.
Me, right?
Yep.
Okay. What am I rolling for?
Just natural, do a d20 roll.
Okay, cool.
Wow.
Lovely.
The sky begins to grow dark, and you notice some sort of whirlpool begin to appear nearby.
Severin's going to
Guys?
pray really quickly.
Guys, do you see what I'm seeing?
I am well aware.
So we are going to die?
Oh my god, we're
Most
going
probably.
to die.
Right. So who do we blame for this? It's Severin, because Severin told us that we needed to get onto the boat, and now we are all going to die. And now if we die, Severin, I am going to get you in hell. I'm just telling you now, I am going to kill you even after you are dead. And she's
Severin is laughing. It's like, lady beyond this, take me, I am your willing participant.
Okay.
Ilaria is crying like a little girl.
Darren's just going to continue rowing.
Just going round in circles and you get dragged towards this whirlpool. So
I'm feeling ill, Darren, stop.
So you get dragged towards this whirlpool and you begin to start circling the whirlpool. Is anyone doing anything while you're circling the whirlpool?
No, he's
This
got
is the end.
his arms outstretched and is like, yes, this is a god taking me.
Arismia she's still shouting at Severin, but she's rowing, and but she's like shouting at Severin, and she's like, I'm still going to kill you. I'm just telling you now. If I die, I will kill you. But she's like rowing and rowing and rowing, hopefully, like, trying to still save everyone.
I have a question. We are pretty far out to sea. There's nothing around us. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
You can see the land, like, it's in the distance. It's not too far away, but it's not, like, so close enough you can swim to it.
Okay. So, what Ilaria is doing while she's crying is inspecting the inside of the boat to find sort of like the most solid piece of wood, and then she's going to drive an arrow into it and sort of attach some rope to it, to the arrow. She wants to basically secure herself to a piece of wood.
Fair enough. So you secure yourself to the wood as you get brought and closer to the whirlpool, and then everything starts spinning, and then everything goes black.
Are we dead?
The two girls both wake up, and you are in cages, and you're in the middle of this an altar room.
Okay.
And you're left in these two cages off to the side. However, Severin and Darren have been stripped naked and tied to one of these wheels. There's like several wheels where there's like sections for people to be tied on. And as you wake up and look around, you see that there are about 50-60 men all tied to these wheels as well. And all around you, basically standing in what look like some sort of cult regalia, there seem to be women, all holding torches. The matriarch is standing at the top in front of what looks like a very large aqueduct in the middle of the room.
Ah, so this is where you kept all the men.
So
What are they chanting?
they aren't chanting anything, they're just staring at you.
They're just staring. Okay.
Well, this
And
is
it's
awkwardly intense.
Is it the same matriarch that we were talking to?
Yes.
Oh, lovely.
I just want everybody to know that you will not force me into any kind of procreation, no matter how much you force me.
And Severin just nods and he's like, it's a legit request.
So basically the matriarch seems to sort of raise her arms and all the women turn to face her. And the matriarch seems to speak, saying, ladies, it is time. And she sort of puts her arms out and you hear a gong sound behind her.
Time for what?
The matriarch speaks, saying, may the mother bless you. And all the women around the room reply with, and bless us all. May we raise our faces to hers, that she may look upon our hearts. We praise her name, we bless her name forever. the matriarch sort of lowers her hands and sort of clasps them together and says, "Ladies, on this night, great mother who waits beyond the waves, we petition you with humble yet hopeful hearts. We bring before you these gifts, offered by your daughters on the shore. Grant us peace, guard and govern us, bless us with your glory, that we may be faithful and bring forth your image to the land. Hold within your hands those who have passed beyond the seas, that they may greet us as we greet you on the water in our final days, with shining eyes and open arms. We pray you accept our humble offering of thanks, guide our days in peace and prosperity, and protect us from the great cold one who seeks to taint your daughters and drag them down to the deep below, far from your eyes. Count us among the chosen, and bless our meager gifts, approve them, cleanse them, as we return their spirits to the sea. Scorn not the lesser sect, but turn your kindly countenance upon them, and grant that they be able to accept your power, to walk by your side on the day you rise from the shore. To the mother we pray, to the mother we come, to the mother they fall." And you see right at the end one of the wheels, one of the men being unstrapped from the wheel and dragged to the altar in front of the matriarch.
Okay. Am I allowed to do something?
Yep.
So while this whole whatever, they'd all turned to face the matriarch, is the cage locked?
It is, yes.
Can I use my dagger to get out of it?
You can try, yes, roll.
Yeah. Okay.
Natural 1, your dagger snaps in the lock. At this point, the man has been brought before and sort of kneeling before the matriarch. He looks incredibly drunk, and she looks down upon him and says, "To the mother we pray," and all the girls around say, "To the mother they fall," as she kicks him in the chest into the pool in front of her.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And
This is some creepy voodoo stuff going on here.
And she puts her hands out and says, ladies, take those you have taken and do as I have done." And you notice a lot of women going forward, unhooking men, very, very, very drunk men, from the wheel and dragging them to the edge of the pit, before repeating, "To the mother we pray, to the mother they fall," and kicking them in the chest into the pit.
Okay, how about this? Can I play a really high-pitched, crazy-ass tune on my flute? Interfere with this kind of trance-like thing that is going on right now?
You can try, yes, roll.
Roll well.
What do you mean? It's a dice bot, man. It's not even me. Like, if it was actually rolling, it would be
The
better.
dice not listened.
So, you do a high-pitched noise. A couple of the girls look over to you, and one of the men tries to break free and start running, but he is, as I said, completely intoxicated, so he seems to stagger and doesn't get very far before he's recaptured.
I'm assuming they've all been put to drink the pine liquid.
Yeah, basically you look around and there seems to be lots and lots of empty bottles of Ricini lying around, so it looks like they have had that poured down their throat.
And we definitely haven't.
You haven't, no.
Alright.
I think you were unconscious when the thing started.
Do we still have our weapons on us?
You and Darren are both
actually we're
stripped
stripped
completely naked.
But we have our weapons, right?
So they haven't seemed to have taken any of the gear of the two girls now.
Okay.
Yes!
Can I throw...
Be careful where you throw that, woman.
Yeah. So I want to... or slide it. So I have two martial weapons. I don't know what they are.
You don't know what they are. That's
I
interesting.
think martial weapons is typically like swords, shields, axes. Something
Okay,
like
so can I please... Okay, well, I do have two hand axes. Can I please throw both my hand axes
God.
to... what are your names again? To Darren and...
No, just to Darren. It's just Darren. Don't throw it to me.
that. They are tied to a wheel at the moment, but
Yeah,
you can
I
throw it
don't
near
know.
them.
This is a terrible circus game that can only end badly.
It probably could.
Throw it at
But,
Darren.
I
Okay,
think
roll to
let's
throw them.
try it. Okay, let me rather throw a hammer and not an axe. I'm gonna throw
Why is that a better idea?
Roll a hammer. Roll to throw a hammer at Darren.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and... Okay.
So rolling to throw a hammer at Darren. Can only end well.
At least this one doesn't chop your hand off. Okay, everybody pray.
Oh, wow.
So you smack him straight in the stomach. There's like an obvious bruise already starting from hitting him, and he starts retching.
Listen, I'm just trying to save your life, okay?
Okay, would it be possible for Severin to take his tail and reach down to get the hammer?
You can try, yes. As you do this, you notice the water that the men have been kicked into start to bubble.
Oh my gosh.
You manage to pick up the hammer with your tail.
Okay, I would like to... I'm assuming, are we tied by ropes or manacles?
Let's go rope.
Rope. Damn it. If only there were manacles.
Okay, I throw flint? What's flint? What? Flint and tinder. What's tinder?
What are you doing?
I don't understand.
Guys, I'm trying to save you.
Flint and tinder tends to be like a block and a block, so it might be better.
It's like matches.
Oh shit! I thought it was like.
It's like old school matches, woman.
Yeah, I was gonna try and like make you burn the rope.
Sure, but I'm attached to it at the moment. How can Darren, like, how tight does it feel? Could he wiggle out of the ropes? Could he like pull at them and try and loosen them somewhat?
Roll to see if you can do that. Since you're sober, you might have a chance to do it.
Aha. Yes. Well, let's see.
Yes, you manage to basically wiggle your way out, and with the distraction of the man being recaptured, you've got, let's say, 2 turns to try and free yourself and Severin before they notice you again.
Alright, I immediately try to do that.
Okay, roll to try and free Severin.
Oh, roll to try free Severin.
Yep, so the 2 of you are now free of the wheel.
I now have a hammer.
And you have a hammer, but you are standing in a room with about 200 women.
I have a tail with a hammer.
I would like to run up. Can I see the cage? I'm assuming I saw where I got hit in the stomach by a hammer.
There's basically a couple of small alcoves you could run to for now.
I want to run directly towards the cage that Arismia and...
Yeah. Okay, you run towards the cage. Because the 2 of you weren't captured by other women, you notice that they don't really seem to notice that you aren't there anymore.
I want to take out my bow and aim an arrow at the back of the matriarch.
Sure.
Ooh.
Damn.
Yep, you shoot.
Yeah.
It goes straight into the back of the matriarch. The matriarch turns round and puts her arms out and says, "My sisters, it is time. I knew it was coming. It is time to choose a new matriarch." And she falls into the pool.
But it never ends. We have to kill like all 200 of them.
Darren is frantically trying to free these 2 from their cage.
At this point, you notice the last of the men have been kicked in and the bubbling in the pool is getting more and more ferocious.
All 60 men have been kicked in.
Yep.
Oh, did we notice anyone that looked like Tim's father? Anyone that looked like an elf boy?
All basically you noticed was that there was a bunch of very drunk, naked men getting dragged forward, put in front of these women who kicked them into a pit.
Well, I guess we can assume what that elf happened to him.
Can we see anything coming, like anything in the...
As you sort of sit and watch the water bubbling, again you hear the sound of the gong being rung, and one of the women walks up to the top of the thing as if she's assuming control and says, "Ladies, it is time." And all the women drop their robes and lay down on the ground. They are all completely naked. From the pool comes forth, you first of all start seeing like a very sleek, like greyish head. And then these eyes with the sort of white that shoots back to reveal pitch black pupils, and it rises slowly out. After 3 or 4 minutes of this rising, you eventually just look in front of you and you see this, how do I describe it?
Leviathan.
No, it's like the face and the eyes. They've got small dart-like teeth, many rows of teeth, very thick lips with this white membrane. It's basically fishmen. They rise from from the bubbling pool and begin to start, let's say, conjugating the visit with the ladies.
Oh, ew.
Okay, Severin's seen enough. He's well grossed out. He's going to help try and free the women, and they just want to get out of there. Well, he just wants to get out of there.
So currently there's about 200 women and then 200 fishmen. I think I said frog.
Well, they're getting conjugated with each other. Come on.
Quickly, get out. Get out of the cage, man. Get out.
Oh my god.
Arizmia is going to take her axe and axe the cage to try and free herself. Ilaria.
Okay.
Do we free ourselves?
I rolled to see how your axe works, just smacking it off the side of the cage.
Can Severin help with the hammer?
Yep.
Do I need to roll as well?
Yes.
Come on.
I do not help with the hammer.
You know what, yeah, you break through the lock and you push through it, you manage to get out. At this point, Severin and Darren are still completely naked, but yes.
Proper shock. This is pretty gross.
Would you mind lending me a cloak or something, please?
Yeah, I take off my scarf and I give it.
Scarf?
To Severin.
He ties it like a sarong, and he's like, let's get.
Does Darren see like where our stuff was put? Like, could we find our things?
There's nothing around that thinks you could be anywhere near here.
All right.
But as you sort of notice the stairwell out, and you run, I imagine you run towards the stairwell out.
Yeah, if we can't find our things,
You sort of burst out of a door, and in front of you, there seems to be like a giant pile of stuff. There seems to be basically someone's looking through and deciding how much anything's worth before packing it onto the cart to be sent back to the main town. You see your driver sort of standing there, sort of trying to mind his own business while the cart's being loaded up.
I push the others forward. I'm naked.
I grab the first thing that I can see that kind of looks like it could cover some bits of him, and I just throw it to him, to Darren.
Okay, roll to see how bad this is.
Oh, damn.
A thong.
Oh,
You find
A
a
big thong.
very small dwarven thong. So,
On it goes.
yep. So you're basically standing. There are two women looking through the gear, and then there's the cart right next to it. What are you gonna do?
are there any weapons on this cart?
Is there
all the bunch of stuff that's in front of you is literally everything that's been taken off the men that were there.
Okay, so whatever weapons I can find, I'm just going to give it to both the men.
So your stuff will be there. It's just you need to dig for it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look for my shovel or a shovel as soon as possible.
Severin wants to find a padlock and key and try and lock the door behind them, if there was a door.
There was a door. It doesn't really have anywhere you could attach a padlock to. You could probably jam the door shut though.
Yeah, he'll do that with the spear.
Okay.
So look, Ilaria is pretty freaked the fuck out. You said there were two other women there, right?
There are two women they're both very heavily pregnant, and they're looking through the bags of the sort of piles of stuff very absently, as in they're not really paying attention to you.
She is going to take out her bow and shoot them.
Okay.
Okay. Severin's gonna try and tie them with a rope as soon as she's shot.
Okay. Roll to shoot them. Yep, you shoot one through the neck. It collapses to the ground in a pool of blood. The other looks at you with a sort of shocked expression, and you easily tie her up.
Awesome.
She starts shrieking, intruders, intruders.
He shoves a
fairness,
spoon in her mouth.
These streets are incredibly quiet for some unknown reason at the moment.
If I have found a shovel, have I found a shovel?
You have found a shovel.
I will run up and just beat one over the head. The one is making the noise.
Roll. You sort of bang her on the head, and she just looks at you as if to say, "Is that the best you've got?"
Oh my god.
And Arizmia hits her over the head as well.
If you want, I'll hand her the shovel. If you look at me, I will just give you the shovel.
Hand her the shovel. You're like, bang! And she again just looks at you like, "Is that the best you've got?"
And
What are these people made out of?
Severin comes with his dagger and tries to slit her throat.
Okay, roll.
Everyone is playing games here.
I love you end up with like a 4 or something.
You like poke into her, and she hisses, and you pull it back out, and you realise that she's got gills behind her ear, and that's what you tried to stab.
Bunch of fish people! I cannot.
This is some
I'm out.
demonic.
Done.
This is
Done.
get out. We're leaving.
Done. Goodbye.
Leave her.
Arrhythmia is gonna throw up on this person. Thing. Gonna proper throw up, yep.
Yep. Okay. What are you doing now? Now you've
You
shot
tried
one
the
to the head.
There's no one. It's just a cart, I think.
The cart's literally right next to you, and all this pile of loot's next to you as
What
well.
is the driver doing?
He's basically standing. He looks like he's like learned just to mind his own business and not pay attention to what's going on.
Is it the
So-
same driver?
Yep.
Okay, then Severon's going to tap him with his tail on the shoulder. He says, "Don't you think it's time to go?"
The driver sort of looks you up and down and then goes, "Why are you naked?"
Don't ask questions, just get in the cart. It's time to leave. Please, hasta la pasta, can we hurry?
Okay. So you
Darren jumps
bundle
up
into the
next
car.
to the driver.
Are you taking any of the loot, or are you leaving all the loot behind?
Severon's
I'm
not
taking as much as I
interested.
can.
He's just done.
So
Arrhythmia
I'll
is
hand-
taking whatever she can get her hands on.
I'll hand her stuff.
you get back in the cart and you flee very quickly from the city. You pass all the other cities on your way back. You don't stop in anyone you can avoid stopping in. And eventually you get back to the main city and you come speak to the merchant. Well, did you find my son?
Mr. Dawnspring, your son,
Dawnwinter? Not
Dawn, I
Dawn
wrote
something. Give me a
Dawnspring,
second, I will
Dawn
double check this.
Season,
It was Dawn
Dawn
Whisper.
Season, and then he
Season.
just starts clicking
Dawn
for Darren
Whisper.
to give the right name.
Dawn Whisper.
Dawnwinter.
Dawn
that was it.
Whisper, Mr. Dawn Whisper.
Yes?
Your son was unfortunately killed by a cult of fish people.
Yes, he had not paid them.
What do you mean my
no,
son
no,
was
no,
killed
no.
by fish
No.
people?
No, he drank this alcohol, and then he got thrown into a pool, and then he turned into a fish man, and then he did things that people shouldn't talk about with a whole bunch of women who were very strange. And oh my gosh, I never ever want to do stuff like that ever.
Mr. Dawn Whisper. Oh,
Yeah?
sorry, that's not my accent. Sorry. I think what Ilario is trying to say is that your son is no longer with us, and we couldn't exactly figure out what had happened to him except the fact that he has died. But we are truly sorry about that. Now, please, can we have our 500 gold pieces each?
I thought we only promised 200, but...
No, it was 500 if clearly. Am I correct, Darren? Ilaria?
At
Severin?
that, Darren will step up, still in a thong, legs wide, and he will stare the man in the eyes and say, "Given what we have just experienced, you will kindly pay us 500 gold each."
Why are you in a thong?
Has Ilaria not just explained to you the situation?
Arrhythmia.
No, not as bad as a dwarf ending up in a thong.
Okay, let me explain the situation. There is a town, Eisenport, where your son went, yes?
Yes?
Okay. Well, all the men do not exist in that village except for one dwarf who creates gold. Rather talented, I must say. But it appears that there is a cult of fish people run by the woman and a matriarch of the town who then, if is killed, is replaced by another woman who becomes the matriarch. They capture all the men, tie them to wheels, strip them naked, and get them drunk with this horrible pine, alcohol, wine,
Rizzini.
Retsina thing, and basically take them in, chuck them into a pool, and they come back as fishmen who then have conjugal visits with all the women in the room, which is about 60 of them, and to make them pregnant to make fish babies.
He looks at you with a complete, like, what the hell are you talking about expression.
And Severin looks at me and he's like, I couldn't make it up even if I tried. We were partaking in the activities to see what had happened to your son. Unfortunately, I experienced far too much than I was ready to. Please may you just pay the money so we may leave and forget that this ever happened. I've got so much explaining to Ilaria to do with the birds and the bees and the fish people that I just need to have about a month to think about how I'm going to phrase this.
Did you find anything belonging to my son?
I found a spoon.
A spoon?
I'm honestly not even sure if it happened to your son. There's a whole bunch of stuff in the cart. You're more than welcome to look. They basically take all the loot from these men and dump it there. But honestly, I don't know your son well enough to know what his possessions are like.
Okay, well, I guess I will go and look through that loot. Thank you. Here's your gold, and he pays you all each.
I am very sorry about your offering.
So that is the end of the one-shot. Thank you very much.
Huzzah!
That was amazing. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Lovely.
But before we stop, do your plugging. So, who's your podcast? Where are you from? What's it about you? Do it one last time.
Tristan.
Proper plug.
No. Yeah, thank you for playing with us, actually, and for getting a hold of us. We are from Dum Dum Die, which is a podcast from South Africa, which is all female and all awesome, which is strange coming from me because I'm the token male in the group. But we release once a week on a Wednesday, and we are 2 seasons in, and it's super great, and these are the players. Yeah.
Where can they find you?
Oh, yeah.
So you can find us on all social media at DumDumDie, on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, and then we also have an email address which is dumdumdiepod@gmail.com, and we respond to almost everything that we get. Okay.
And you're on SoundCloud as well?
Yes, we are. Also Dum Dum Die.
Is there anything else you wish to plug while you're here? Anything coming up that you want to hype people about?
Oh my greatness, for October.
Maybe what we could say is thank you very much to the organizers of Comic-Con for having us run their tabletop role-playing section at Comic-Con Africa. It was a lot of fun. Enjoyed it. And thank you to everybody who listens to our podcast and to everyone who came to play over that weekend.
All good? So
Perfect.
I think that's solid.
And with that, dearest friends, time has run out for our tale with our group of adventurers. We hope you'll join us in taking the time to support those that dare to traverse our dungeons, and maybe even listen to their own bard's tales, for what is a good story if not shared with as many folk as can be sang to? As for ourselves, you can follow the many tales of Penance RPG through both our Twitter or Facebook at Penance RPG. If you would like to support us in our endeavours, we have both a Patreon at patreon.com/PenanceRPG and Ko-Fi at ko-fi.com/PenanceRPG. All support, however small it may seem, is gratefully received and will assist us in bringing future projects to your ears.
And as the evil that was in the north returns to legend, and as another group are left changed forever, we only have this to say. Good night out there, whatever you are.